there it goes. I think we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Click here for live. All right, cool. We got 5 thumbs up, and we haven't even started yet.
Awesome.
Oh, and here we got some comments.
I'm not seeing comments yet.
Yeah, I don't see any comments yet.
You don't see any yet?
Not yet. It might take a while to get to us. 11 people on. I see that. Just not the comment.
Missy's here. Armando,
Hey, Missy.
Greg, and
Hey,
Rebecca.
Armando. Hey, Greg.
Everybody. And then I sent the link to Calvin Redhouse, so hopefully he'll be able to get on. If not, we might. Oh, he says, give me 10 minutes. He's got a bear in a tree.
He better not. He better not.
There's
He
Timothy.
better not.
Timothy
He better
Brink.
get on with that bear in the tree.
Yeah, he'll do live under the tree. And knowing Calvin, he might have a bear and a lion in the tree.
No.
Same time. Tree dog. Good evening, everybody. You guys see in the comments now?
No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see him.
Oh, good. Well, perfect.
See the knives. What's that mean?
He always does that. What is that, Saddle Tramp? That's only
means
3 of us you want dead?
Well,
or?
look at his little
Flash
logo
and
there.
blade?
He might, if we screw up, he might knife us or something.
Gonna cut us? Oh, no.
He's one of the ones that complained last time that told me the audio was terrible. I couldn't watch it. The audio was terrible.
Oh.
There's Rope and Lightning.
I was
Ohio
doing a
Hillbilly Woodworking. Greetings from Central Ohio. Timothy Brink. Wish I was bear hunting. The heat has been bad here too.
Is that the guy who came to you, Nicholas? Is that?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I actually
Tell that story.
met up with old Timothy Brink there.
Cool.
Yeah, so I've been talking about, I'm working on building a new dog box, because I need more space, really. And so, yeah, he commented on some of my videos, and then he reached out to me on Facebook and said he was going to be passing through Salem, and if I wanted to see his dog box. And of course I did. So yeah, we met up in Arby's parking lot and just kind of hung out for an hour or so, and yeah, it was fun. Cool to meet a fellow houndsman.
There you go,
He's
George.
got a nice dog box.
Oh, Smith Street. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Todd
I haven't even
Ringo.
got to catch up on the reviews and stuff on that yet. I'll check it out after, see how it's doing.
What's the video about? I haven't seen it yet. What's the story?
Oh, so it was kind of a typical crazy high-low day. It started out, dogs struck on the rig red hot. I mean, just struck good. Dogs dropped them off the truck. They made a lap, and then they made another lap, and then it was like a racetrack. It was just going around and around and making about 2-mile circle. And never did. I put old dogs back on the track. I tried it 2 or 3 times, returning loose. Never did figure out where the bear went. So then that added on to, I ended up eventually getting on another bear, and then I was flying around. It don't really justify it in the video, but I was flying around one of the turns, pushed on the brakes, and lost everything. No brakes. So of course I just jammed her up in first gear. And the bear just crossed the road. I didn't see it, but my uncle did. So I jammed her in first gear, made it. The truck got stopped. I kind of went up on the bank a little bit, but it got stopped right where the bear crossed. So I just went ahead and dumped the tailgate.
Nice.
And then they treed the bear.
So while I was, I ended up having a brake line that had busted on the front end of my truck. So I kind of just forgot about the dogs for a few minutes, got under the truck, and I had a pair of pliers, and I crimped. It was the steel lines, so I just crimped it as hard as I could. And I looked on GPS, and dogs had treed. So I finished up the hunt with spongy brakes, driving around in low range.
Redneck ingenuity.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Okay, there you go, Nicholas. Says he wants to learn how to weld. I run a fab shop and told Nicholas he is more than welcome to come up and build his dog box. There you go, Nick. We expect to see pictures of your
I
welds.
really appreciate the offer. Oh yeah, they're gonna be pretty. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Man, I've been going down the YouTube rabbit hole on all the welding stuff, and I got to thank Chris for sparking all that because I hadn't thought. I don't know. It's one of those things. I always thought welding was like something, kind of out of reach or something. But then I'm like, oh, Chris can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And I got an IQ 69. Just under 70.
I've always had to be able to weld, but it's not something it's kind of like learning how to shoe a horse or a mule. It's all right to know how to do it, but you just don't want to have to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. I
I
like fabricating.
You know these semi-trailers running up down the road, utility trailers?
Yeah.
Welded a lot. I've welded a lot on utility trailers. So pass them when you get the chance. Don't
stay behind them.
Don't stay behind them. Pass them when you get the chance.
Why'd you have to weld on them so much? You work there or building them?
Yeah, manufacturing them. Yeah, welded
Cool.
a lot of rear cases and stuff like that on.
Cool. Let me move my camera. Is that better?
Brakes are overrated.
I
I see MJ. Yeah, I see a few people's
Downshift.
been in that same situation.
Oh, if you drive a 1980, we went camping last weekend, and my daughter took my 1980 Toyota, and I said, there's something wrong with it. I don't remember what. And she started it, and it was loud. I said, oh, the muffler. That's what it was. Maybe it's just the muffler's loud. So she drove it, and we go down the road a couple miles, and she's taking forever to get to me, and I kind of stop, and she gets up, and she's waving her arms, and I looked at my wife. I said, oh, I don't have brakes on that. Forgot I have to bleed the brakes. And I get out, and I'm all, what's the matter? You got no brakes? She's like, man, it's not just a muffler. So, yeah, we had to go back, bleed the brakes. 1980 Toyotas, you got to bleed them every 6 months. And those Dodge, that's a Dakota. Yeah, those brakes don't work good anyways on any Dakota.
They don't.
Any
Yeah.
Dodge.
As long as you got a gas pedal, you're good to go.
Yeah, I got 4 of those in my yard. It's Dakota 4 doors.
Chasing the bear, you don't need brakes anyway. You just need the gas.
Nope. You have to slow down. Your
I
dogs
had
are
to-
too good.
I had to use a dog lead or something to chain up my muffler just the other day. It come apart on me. Yeah, so I wiggled under there and chained her up.
I was a little more sophisticated. Had some belling wire, but it finally broke.
I keep a couple coat hangers in the truck for anything, odds and ends. If you got to break in it
Any
or
emergency.
anything. Yeah, any emergency.
Dry ground lion hunting isn't near as hard on equipment, I guess, as running bears. I just kind of
I've
put up to where I get out, and then that's it.
I have a dent on top of my cab where my dog box landed on top of my cab.
Well, I can weld. I'm decent at welding, just MIG weld or welding steel and that kind of stuff. So I built my dog box out of steel, thinking that anytime I broke it, I could just weld it back. But then, so I did. I built my dog box from scratch, but now it's too heavy. I kind of wish I'd have went with aluminum.
I went with a light gauge metal before, like a galvanized, trying to lighten it up, but it's still just heavy.
That's
trying to get
me
everything
too.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
aluminums, they just like aluminum horse trailer, they fall apart.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Maybe it's just the way I drive. I don't know. Oh, you're that little buggy.
I could
Not
see
from
like
those guys.
salt.
Those guys build great boxes.
Yeah.
I've seen those
guy here
boxes.
that
He
built-
built some.
There's a guy here that
Did you
builds
see
pretty
that
good
roll
aluminum
cage
box.
they build?
There's a guy here that builds pretty good aluminum boxes. You see his boxes in a lot of bear hunting videos. He's not but about an hour from me. So aluminum boxes, if they weld them right, they'll hold up.
They must. I mean, a lot of people are running them. I don't know. I'm just having that one built for my Can-Am. I mean, just because I need to be able to take more dogs out. It's the main thing, and I want to be able to just take the Can-Am instead of driving my big old heavy Dodge truck.
You guys hear about that? I want to bring this up. Well, we could probably wait. I was going to bring that guy up.
Go ahead.
That guy, the Nevada game biologist. What was his name?
Oh, that has the. Does he have a bunch of lawsuits against him?
So what happened is some animal activists, like, internet harassed him on Facebook. I think is what it was. And he turned around and sued this group, and the judge said, "Well, it's freedom of speech, whatever." So okay, whatever. But then they judged that he had to pay the $150,000 in lawyer fees that the guy racked up. Those people racked up fighting his suit. What's his name? Let me look it up.
Oh, geez.
I was just looking up the.
So the judge ruled that because he sued them, that he has to cover their attorney fees for
Yeah, for
defending
slandering
herself.
him. They were like harassing him, just talking a lot of crap. I want to throw his name out there.
And they called it freedom of speech.
Yeah, Carl Lackey.
Well, was it?
Carl Lackey. Carl
So-
Lackey.
So if I call you names and everything, and you sue me, and I have to
I guess if you
hire,
win-
and I have to hire attorneys, and the judge rules that it was just freedom of speech, but you have to pay my attorneys for suing me.
Well, they probably countersued him for that, and then for some reason the judge let it happen, which is it's ridiculous in my book. But where's
but can
the
you
Nevada?
can you go around and sue people for harassing you verbally?
I've been took to court. It was a while ago. It's so long ago. It's because of MySpace. That's how long ago. I said some stuff.
I'm sure it wasn't for child support or something.
No. I have all my kids.
Brett, add this to the list of things he's done.
I know.
So they sued him for it, but where's the Nevada Wildlife Department? Like, why didn't they just
Nevada.
cowered out of it? I guess
But
they just bailed out of it. They kind of
how did he justify suing them? That's what I mean. I've been called lots of names in my life. And
No, they were telling people where he was on Facebook.
they
what
were
he was
doxing
doing,
him.
Yes, basically, where he was gonna be. They would if he was somewhere, they would let him know he's somewhere. So all the guy is a biologist. The guy's not a bear hunter. He's not out there whacking bears.
But was
you know
he
what I mean?
actually? Did he encounter those guys? And
I think I haven't dug deep into it. I just kind of heard it this morning on Meat Eater. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna look that up. So I've been looking it up, and basically they just doxed him and telling, talking trash. He sued him for slander and defamation of character and harassment, and he's a state employee. If I went up to a state employee and spit in his face or yelled at him, you know what I mean, in public, but because it was on, they can't control the platform, what people would say. It's like a Facebook page, I guess.
well,
It stuck an iron in me.
I can tell you a story about a Border Patrol agent I just got into it with just the other day. And I guess he could probably sue me. I called him a few choice words.
Well, did you put it on the internet? Like these guys are telling the name, the truck.
I
They're
know.
taking pictures of the dude.
I think I would if I was him, then I would I don't know. I would see what the law says. Maybe he didn't have I have a hard time with some of that GoFundMe stuff.
Well, he did. He sued him. Yeah. Well, I think the state, he's working when they're harassing him. You know, he's doing his job, basically getting harassed. Why the judge who was?
But were they just calling? Did they ever encounter him? Did they ever do anything to him in person, or did they jeopardize his job in some way? You know, I'm just wondering what the rules are, what the law is.
Yeah. I haven't dug deep into it. I just started reading the articles where, but I think
I haven't either.
I think this morning they were saying like they would follow him around. Them anti-hunters, they'll follow those people around. But he's a biologist. He's like conserving, not. I don't know. It really. I could punch one of them people in the face.
No,
You do what you want, say what you want on the other side of the street, but don't get in my bubble.
That's it.
Don't come out and harass me.
Well, that's what happened to me and the Border Patrol agent. You know, I left. I shouldn't even tell this story. I left before daylight on a dirt road that goes by the Border Patrol station, and the guy is parked right in the middle of the road with his lights on, not his red lights, just his headlights. Yeah. And it's dark, and I'm in my buggy, and I'm driving down through there, and I pull up to the side, you know, because he's in the middle of the road. Now, I admit I might have been going a little fast when I pulled up to the side, but then he was standing out there, and I stop, and he comes up to me and turns that light on and puts it right in my face in my buggy. And I grabbed the light, and I said, "Don't you put that light in my face." Oh, I was mad. Makes my heart hurt thinking about it. And I call, and he has his hand on his gun. And I told him, he said, well, you know, I told him, well, turn on your lights on. That's what those lights on top of your truck are for. You know, turn those red lights on so I know it's a. He said, well, I'm a federal agent, and I said, I don't give it a blankety who you are. Well, you know, I didn't know who he was.
Gosh, diggity darn you! Yeah, you know, I have every respect for law enforcement that I could have, but there are some out there that kind of push the envelope. But out there, the Border Patrol, you know the story about Warner Glenn, right? Didn't he beat up a Border Patrol agent or get in a big fight with one?
Yeah, I think so, years ago.
I think Warner Glenn got in a big fight with one, like a fight, you know. But back in those days, you had coffee the next morning. It's like, sorry, happens. You know, these days, if the guy smells your breath and it don't smell right, you just assaulted a federal agent. You know,
well,
like you grabbing that flashlight, he could have took you to jail.
No, he couldn't. I'd have won too. In first place, he would have been a lot tougher than he was.
He seen that red hair. He said, "I'm getting this guy. I'm getting him." Look, Brett's still fuming about it right now.
Well,
it's tough because you try to be respectful, and sometimes them guys don't let you be respectful. I get stopped all the time out here by Border Patrol. They'll pull me over, you know, and you could tell them. I mean, check my trailer.
I don't care if they pull me. I have to go through Border Patrol stations all the time. I mean, constantly. But I don't meet one on a dirt road before daylight when he doesn't have his lights on and he's blocking the road. And that's him being an idiot.
He must have been an ex-game warden. That's what they like to do.
Okay, here's Calvin. Calvin.
Can we get him? Oh, we got 6 now.
Calvin Redhouse is in the house.
I don't see no bear in the tree.
You're supposed to have a bear in the tree when you came on.
Yeah.
Speak up. Uh-oh. Do I have you on mute? I got him on mute.
Hang on.
Take me a minute.
Hang on, Calvin.
Be patient, Calvin. We're kind of green at this.
Took us an hour to get it on just at 3:30.
There he is. Can you hear us, Calvin?
Going in and out.
Okay, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Got a good picture on you. Oh, he froze.
Oh, he froze.
There he
Is
is.
he just playing around? Larry, I think he's playing around.
Still blinking.
You know how you pretend to freeze?
Are you having a
That's how
hard
you
time
call him.
hearing us, Calvin?
No, I can hear you now.
Okay,
I think
perfect.
now I can hear you guys now.
Perfect. How's everything?
Everything's good. Just enjoying life.
Been out.
You run
When did
today?
your bear season start?
Bear season started last weekend on Saturday.
Is it cool enough where you're at?
Oh yeah, it is in the mornings. It's in the high 40s, like 48, 49. And
Man.
right now
What's
it's
your-
raining with thunderstorms, so pretty
Yeah.
good.
Be nice.
What's your elevation up there? Where are you at?
Well, right now I'm sitting at 5,000 feet, and the top of the mountain reaches anywhere between 85 and 9,000.
Man.
9,000.
nice.
And cold.
Nice.
Mhm.
Do you know
Yep.
everybody here, Calvin?
Yeah, pretty much about everybody. Yep.
John, he's a retired houndsman. And then, of course, Chris. What do we say about Chris? And then Nicholas down here in the
Pretend to be a
bottom.
houndsman.
He wrote a book called Hound on the Run. Right?
My book's called Cat Dog Chronicles, but
Yeah.
my website is called Hound on the Run, and my YouTube channel.
And then George.
Okay.
George is a bear hunter from Virginia, right, George?
Yes, sir. Virginia.
Yeah.
Yep.
George-
I think I'm just about caught up with all your YouTube videos, George. Just about there.
Oh, okay. Right.
Nice.
Well, cool. So you've been out some already? Have you taken anybody hunting or anything yet, or?
No, not yet. Later on next month, I believe there's going to be one coming down from Utah, and then the other one's coming down from George's neck of the woods.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Hey, say Utah. Say Utah again. How do you pronounce
Utah?
Utah? Calvin? Yeah.
How do
Just
you
like you
pronounce
said,
it?
Utah.
They said, I got a guy up there I
Utah?
know, and he calls it Utah, yeah. Like Utah.
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 A couple of guys up there.
No, I
but
actually pronounced the U, so Utah.
Oh, I
Utah.
didn't hear
Oh,
you.
we did.
It sounded.
Well, cool. So me and Chris have had a kind of a disagreement. I've got a friend of mine over by Gallup that tells me that you buy a permit, you can go hunt on the reservation. Is that true, or do you have to be accompanied by a native, or how does that work?
So the only time you are required to have a Navajo guide is if you're doing the trophy elk or mule deer hunts. So for mountain lions and bears and bobcats, small game, or any other general season tag, you're not required to have a Navajo with you. So you get the tag, you can come on and hunt all on your own.
Are you allowed to camp and stay out and everything there? And how do we know where
on
we
the
can
mountains,
go?
You're allowed to camp. Yeah, there's no really designated spot. So, because the Navajo Nation is a sovereign nation, and there is no such thing as private land on the Navajo reservation. It belongs to everyone. So, if you got a tag, you're allowed to be there. Of course, there's still rules in regards to hunting. You can't shoot within half a mile of a residence. If you are, then you need written consent from that residence stating that you're allowed to shoot within half a mile of their house. But the problem is a lot of the Navajos here all say that land is theirs.
Yeah.
They don't understand the rules and laws and bylaws and regulations in regards to it. So there is no private land on the Navajo reservation. There is either a homeside lease, which only allots you 1 acre of land that you can live on, and then there's a grazing permit. The grazing permit allows you to graze your animals, your livestock, all over the reservation. And then you're allotted so much land that you can fence in for growing corn or anything that you would want on there. That's pretty much about it. So if you get a bear tag or a mountain lion tag or even a small game permit to hunt bobcats, you can come up here and pretty much hunt the entire reservation.
Is there quite a few people that do that, or is it get crowded?
No.
I hate to say this. I hate to say this
like
over
right
the
now,
internet.
No, it's all right. There's probably, I'd probably say about 4 dedicated Navajo houndsmen on the reservation, but we pretty much stick to certain areas, and we don't even see each other half the time. On average, so bear season started last week and it goes to the second week in October. And I will probably see maybe only 2 hound hunters the entire season.
Are the natives that you run into while you're out there, a big red-headed guy like me, when I run into the natives, are they going to be friendly, or will they be resentful that I'm out there? Or? So I guess it'd be different with everybody.
It's all up to the person. Some of them know and understand if you tell them that you're hunting bears or you're hunting mountain lions. They're grateful and they're appreciative because they've seen some around their livestock and they want it gone. Yeah, and a lot of them, you don't really get a lot of people that hate hunting around here. Yeah, you don't get a lot of them. So as long as you're respectful and polite to them, and it's never really a problem.
Oh, cool. Well, it's always kind of.
I'm sorry, Brett.
Go ahead, John.
Say again.
How big's the reservation?
It's huge.
The reservation is 17 million acres.
The Navajo Red.
Yeah.
That's what I know. It's Navajo Red. 17. Whoa.
Goes on.
I'm wondering when you said that you could go without seeing other houndsmen. I thought, how big an area are we talking?
Yeah,
about?
it's bigger than West Virginia. Our reservation is bigger than West Virginia.
Wow,
man,
that's cool.
That's cool.
And just for clarification, that's non-residents also. Non-residents and residents.
Well, everybody would be a non-resident.
It kind of froze on me, so yeah, just about everybody would be a non-resident. So, so what happens for bear seasons? They only give out 2 non-native tags for bear season,
right?
And depending on what unit you want, units like 1 through 5, which has a crazy amount of road access, the bear tag's $1,000. And then unit 12, which is the trophy mule deer unit, that's only $250. That's for the bear tag. And the reason why that is there's only 1 road to the top of the mountain. 1 road up and 1 road down. There's not a lot of road access. So if you go into unit 12, you're walking a lot.
Right.
So is that controlled by the Navajo Nation?
Yeah, it's on the Navajo Nation. Yeah. We have Calvin, we're a sovereign nation. Go ahead. So we're a sovereign nation, right? So we have. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So there's 2 non-native tags for the draw, and there's about 50 tags for Navajos. Navajos don't really hunt bear. So what happens when these tags aren't bought up by the Navajos? Those tags fall into over-the-counter tags for leftover tags. So when those tags go into the leftover tags, they become open for everyone. So on average, there's about maybe anywhere between 5 and 16 tags that are usually left over that.
Oh. We
You had to
got
think
him.
about it. Hang
We
on.
got him frozen up here.
You had to
Maybe
think
it'll
about
come
it.
back. I wonder what kind of internet service he's got.
Probably Verizon up there.
Let's see here.
No,
Oh, I hear him. There he is.
there he is. Oh, it froze again.
No, he's okay.
Oh, there he goes.
Huh. What about lions, Calvin? How does that deal work?
What happened? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoop, he can't hear us.
Can you hear us, Calvin?
Whoop, we lost him now. Huh.
You lost.
Dadgummit.
Yeah, you know, he was
There he
talking
comes.
about
There he comes.
just camping wherever you want, but I'm pretty sure those you don't
There he
want
is.
camping on your land next to your house.
Okay, sorry.
There he is.
I don't know what you guys heard, so
I was
He's asking
asking
about
about the lion hunting.
okay.
How does it work?
So line hunting, line hunting. The proclamation's out right now, and it's $250 for the tag, and that's open to everyone. That's an over-the-counter tag. There is a quota system for certain units, and you're required to check those quotas every Monday to see if they've been filled or not. In the past 7 years that the seasons for line has been opened, there's only been one time that one of the units has been closed. Other than that, the unit is never closed.
Is that because
So
it's
it goes from October to June.
so is that because it's a pretty liberal amount of lions you can harvest, or is it because of a lot of those areas don't get snow?
That's just what they put out. That's what the biologist rated as. You know, that's what the quota that they put underneath required by the biologist in regards to her study that she did, and depending on I think next year they're supposed to try to do another count and see if that quota needs to go up or down, but the quota's never met. They're never filled.
What's your opinion? I mean, you're probably out and about as much as anybody.
There's a lot. I mean, me being a guide, majority of the clients want big, huge toms, and I'll pass up on average maybe 2 or 3. Average or below average. Below average being sub-adults, and average being anywhere between 115 and 120 pounds, somewhere right around there. And there's quite a bit of them, to be honest with you, and a lot of them just want toms.
Sure. Well, that's a good thing.
What's your success rate with cats? I mean, on average. I mean, I know it's nothing.
Right now, I'm sitting at a 95% success rate,
That's good.
That's good.
Man.
and that's just because I've had clients say, we went up to one tree and she looked at the lion and she no kidding said it doesn't have enough character.
She wanted that fighting Tom with the big scar on his face.
Sorry.
I guess I don't know. I mean, we seen 3 different huge toms within that week span, and she found some reason not to pull the trigger every time, which is fine with me. I mean, she came back last year again, and then this year she came back again. So it's up to her. It's her
Sure.
decision. So it's her hunt.
That I guess that track didn't show character, did it?
Why don't you tell us? Maybe find a 3-toed line.
Say again,
How'd you
Chris?
get started in the hounds, Calvin? How'd you get started?
Oh man,
Yeah, good.
that's a really long story, but so I was leaving the Marine Corps, and my brother-in-law, who's a game warden here on the reservation, he was doing a lot of depredation calls, and he would go out and sit in the livestock owner's corral or pen and wait for either that mountain lion or bear to come back. And there was a couple of calls where that mountain lion or the bear would come back, and one would spotlight the animal and the other one would pull the trigger. They only have a split second, and they pull the trigger and they would wound the animal, and then it would come down to stalking this animal in the pitch black darkness. And a couple of times, he walked up onto the paw. The paw would be hanging there, and he walked into it and freaked out. The animal would be right above him, and he was like, "There's got to be a better way to do this." And so he ran into a couple of people that were hound hunting, and there was a couple of dogs that they didn't want and he told them, hey, let me have these dogs, since you don't want them. Let me just take them off your hand. And so that's what he did. And he, before he got e-collars and all this other stuff, he would just release the dog and listen to the sounds. And he got me interested in it. And before I came back, I met up with a coon guy, or a spoon guy, out there in North Carolina. And he hooked me up with 2 trained walkers, and I brought them back. And that's, long story short, I threw them in with his pack, and it took me about 2.5 years before I was confident enough to go out and do it on my own. And then it took me another year to really build up my confidence to be able to go ahead and become a guide. And he was the one that encouraged me. He goes, you're spending all this money to fix the truck, feed the dogs, house the dogs. You can get paid to do this. And I asked him, I was like, what are you talking about? And he told me, he's like, well, you can become a guide and take people out, and then get paid for it, and take care of that on that end. So that's how I became a guide, and that's how I came into hound hunting.
Do you advertise quite a bit?
Just on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and then of course through Gary Robinson and the Carnivore TV show.
Are you still doing that?
Go ahead.
Yeah. We're still doing it. This year we produced the show, but being that he is trying to promote his new electronic game call, we decided that we'll dial back on the hound hunting and focus more on his e-caller until he gets that out, and then we'll ramp up the hound hunting again after that.
That's cool.
Did the Navajo government ever do you ever do any work for them? Did they ever reimburse you for any of the? Did you do any of the calls, the nuisance calls and stuff?
Yeah, so for depredation calls, my brother-in-law, if I'm not available, my brother-in-law will come pick up the dogs and take the dogs out. I've lost quite a bit of dogs, but see, the thing with that is you had to sign a contract stating that anything that happens while on these depredation calls, you're volunteering your help, equipment, and time So you're not underneath contract or anything for any type of reimbursement. So if you're going to
Good
do
old
it,
government.
then it's so if you're going to do it, then you're risking your dogs, your time, your equipment. So, and I do it just
Yeah.
because and it's just because it's helping my community out around here to help push these predators back.
And if it's a lion depredation, I mean, one of the hardest things is getting your dogs on plenty of lions. I mean, it's off a kill or something. That's pretty easy, or not easy to catch, but at least you know you're on a lion.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, take us through your bear hunt. You got a client that shows up. How do you work it? How does it happen?
So you can't. So the rules for hunting is you can't pull the trigger 30 minutes before sunrise or 30 minutes after sunrise. But there's no rules stating that on when you can release the dogs.
Oh.
So
You
technically,
can.
you can release the dogs all night. And if the dogs will stay treed, you can walk in 30 minutes before sunrise and take that animal if you wanted. But, just trying to obey by and not cause a lot of trouble, I don't release the dogs until legal shooting hours. That's just me.
Right.
Okay. And then y'all do mostly when you're bear hunting, or you rigging all the time?
Majority of the time I try to rig, but when it's just myself and I'm out there, I'll just road the dogs just so the dogs can exercise, even if they don't hit a scent or a track or not. At least the dogs were out and about running alongside the truck. So, but
You don't have a
if I
lot
do
of.
have a client, good.
You don't have a lot of roads up there, do you?
In the units
Like,
1 through 5, there's a lot of roads. Majority of the time, you can drive within
gotcha.
200 to 300 yards of a tree.
Oh wow.
Man.
But
That makes
Unit
it easy.
12, yeah, Unit 12 is a totally different story. Like you would start at the base at about 5,000 feet, and then if you're majority of the time, you would start on the east side of the mountain because that has the most amount of road access to the base of the mountain.
Yeah.
But in order to get to the top of the mountain, that's on the west side of the mountain. It's going to take you almost 3 hours to get to the west side of the mountain,
Oh wow.
to get to that road,
Man.
to get to the top. So if you started a track at the base of the mountain on the east side, that bear goes up and over the mountain or up on top of the mountain. You're pretty much walking that entire time, and that's about anywhere between 2 to 3,000 foot in elevation to get up on top.
Wow.
A lot of walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't like Unit 12, and that's the reason why that tag is $250.
Can you get around on a mule in that country?
Yeah.
You kind of can, but a lot of the places it's pretty much straight up like at a 45-degree angle. So, unless you're willing to ride your mule halfway and then walk the other half, maybe. I mean, a
There's
lot of
not
it is.
there's not any cowboy trails or anything to zigzag back and forth and get up through there?
No, there's really not. If there is, there's very few.
Yeah.
You
Lot
have
of-
mules or horses?
I've got 3.
Do you have clients that
I
like to
mainly
go
ride
like
2
that?
of them. No, not a lot of people do. A lot of the clients that I have are, older gentlemen that don't like to sit in the saddle too long. So
Yeah. They like them side by sides.
They like those heated
side by
Toyota
sides.
trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They
So side by sides and UTVs and ATVs aren't allowed to hunt with.
Oh.
Only
Huh.
during recovery are you allowed to use a UTV or an ATV. Only during recovery of the animal.
Off road, you mean, or
Mhm.
all together?
Yep.
So you can
All
use
together.
them on the roads. Oh.
No.
Wow.
And the reason for that is
So,
they're trying to be fair across the board. Um, Navajos, a lot of Navajos aren't well off to have a vehicle and a UTV or an ATV, and a lot of non-Navajos, they're more a little bit more wealthier to be able to have both of those, and then that gives them the advantage. So to keep it equal across the board, they took that out and said it's only allowed for recovery. So everybody's got vehicles, so you can either use vehicles, horseback, or on foot. So
I'll be
wow,
dang. That's
crazy.
something.
That is.
Of course, they'd be right up my alley.
yeah,
I got a UTV, but I just mainly use it for exercising dogs and stuff. I don't always feel like I'm cheating if I'm riding around in it. But
You ever hunt off the reservation, Calvin?
no, not really.
Not too much.
I really don't have to because I got everything that I need here, and
Yeah.
I've got less competition here in regards to hound hunting. So
Yeah.
even for elk, not a lot of people know where the elk are, so I got better chance here than going off the reservation.
Yeah.
do you guide
going
elk and deer hunters also? I think it's blocked out. Do you guide elk or deer hunters also, Calvin? Or
Not really. I hate sitting behind the glass. I'm very impatient when it comes to sitting on
yeah,
the hillside for 3-4 hours trying to look for antlers that won't fill me up. I'm not a bone soup type of guy, so
Yeah.
I hear you.
What were you gonna ask,
See,
George?
that's I want to come
I,
out west elk hunting, but I'd be tickled to death with a cow. Just put me in front of a cow. Let me eat because I have nowhere to hang.
oh, that's easy. We can
Got
do
set
that
of
easy.
antlers.
There you go, John.
What would it cost to go on a cow hunt? I think he froze again.
He got frozen
froze
up
on
again. There he is.
Yeah.
What would the cost be for a cow hunt?
Well, it depends on the unit. Majority of the time, I think it's $350 for a cow hunt.
What do you charge?
I don't know. I've never, done an elk hunt, to be honest with you.
Oh,
You
okay.
just like running them dogs.
He's like me. He does. If he can't hunt it with a
Yeah,
dog,
I'd
he
rather,
don't like to hunt
watch
it.
the dogs work than to deal with that.
Were you gonna ask something, George? Were you gonna say something?
yeah, I'm just curious. I'm assuming watching my videos, does it seem like your bear chases are they similar to how ours here, are here in Virginia, or is there anything major difference? I've never come out that way and hunted.
I don't know. The videos that I've seen, your videos, the Untamed videos, you guys' bears are a lot different, to be honest with you. I think for me,
Right.
it looks like, I'm not too sure, that you guys have a lot of smaller side bears. I mean, not unless they just got bigger ears, but um,
Yeah,
we
that's
have more
right.
of a we have more of a you know heftier bears around here that love to just walk and pester the dogs and fight the dogs off. Um,
Yeah. Don't even care they're
for
following
you
them.
guys, I don't know. I from what yeah, for you guys, I seen your bears. They're from what I seen. I've never seen a lot of bears that are that big that that you guys
We got
really
small
chase that
bears,
I've
Calvin.
seen. But I could be wrong. I
No,
Just
could
tell
be
us we
wrong.
got
our
I don't
small
know.
bears. Just tell us we
yeah,
got small bears. You don't have to beat
Okay.
around the bush. You got bigger bears
yeah,
up there.
our here in Virginia, our average bear
You can get closer.
in the west side of Virginia where I hunt here in the mountains, our average bear is probably 150 pounds. Yeah, roughly. Yeah, if we a 250, 300 pound bear, that's really nice for us. That's a big bear. We consider that big.
That's a giant here. That's a giant.
Yeah,
300
Okay.
pound.
exactly.
Hey, Calvin, do you think you got big bears because there's
All
not
right,
a
that-
lot of people hunting them up there, and they got,
Yeah.
so they just got time to grow. You got more
Yeah,
mature bears, right?
Yeah. I mean, they'll run anywhere between 2 to 350 on average.
Oh man.
Wow.
What is
So
your
lot
what's
a
of
your
cow
color
out hunt is around 300.
What
what's
What
your
about is there a
boar
lot of
sow ratio?
color face in those bears? A lot of red and brown color face.
You guys kind of okay, yeah. There's a lot of color phase. We get a lot. You. It's very rare for you to hunt a black bear, an actual black colored black bear.
Wow.
In
What's your
my, go ahead.
what's your boar sow ratio? Are you catching a lot of boars? Are you catching a lot of sows? Are you guys kind of picky too? Like I try not to kill sows unless they're 20 years old and got gray in their face. But
I think the boar to sow ratio. I think we got a little bit more boars than sows. This past fall I've only treated one sow with cubs. The rest were all boars, and I think it's probably about maybe if I were to take a guess, maybe 6-1 boars versus sows, maybe.
wow, I treated 23 sows in 1 year. We didn't treat one boar, not one.
Man.
So we had a lot.
You
Some
better get, you better get some better dogs.
that's what it is. You know, I got some anti-hunter dogs. What I got, they don't want to kill nothing. But the guy out of North Carolina called me today and said they were urging them guys to kill sows because they said they had too many sows, and he was kind of upset about it. But
The
I mean,
DWR guys here.
that's what I'm. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say the DWR guys here in southwestern part of Virginia are told us last couple of years you need to kill more bear because they're getting too many phone calls from residents of them breaking in the backside of their house and tearing up their chicken coops and stuff like that. They
Yeah,
don't care what
for
it is. They
me,
just
I'm
want them
not too
dead.
picky. Yeah. For me, I'm not too picky because if you kill all the boars, then these bears aren't frogs. They're not asexual. They can't reproduce on your own. So you kill all the boars, then hey, you got another problem. So why just target boars when you need to be targeting sows too at the same time? Or sorry, sows.
You got a bunch of sows out there looking for love.
yeah, well, your
Yeah.
boar ratio's so high though. Like you might almost don't want to kill a female because there's not as many females.
I wonder how many sows one boar can breed in a season. I wonder if they breed multiple sows or if they can just breed one or two. I wonder about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I would
man, that's
probably say
interesting.
like 3 to 4, maybe, depending on how many you can find.
Yeah.
Probably his area. If he has let's just say a 20-mile radius and there's 10 sows in there, I'm sure he's going to try to breed every one. They don't bunch them up like an elk.
Yeah.
They just roam around.
Because that's the whole thought with with hunting lions. You don't want to kill the females because one tom can breed lots of females, so you kind of leave the females alone so they can keep having babies, and you remove some of the toms, and another tom moves in, he can take care of them anyway. But I wonder how that works.
I think if you have too many toms, they start. I think that guy's telling me today something about every boar kills 3 cubs a year on average, trying to breed, trying to bring that, and it depends on the sow, if she wants a little loving or if she wants to raise her babies, how tough she is to fight the boar off.
Crazy.
Huh. Hey, Calvin,
This
tell
past
us.
winter, I came across
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so this past winter, I came across 4 lion cubs that were killed by a tom
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to
in
get her to come and heat.
in totally different areas. That was about maybe 5 to 6 miles apart from one another. I found different lion cubs that had been killed.
I'll be dang. Yeah. I've always heard that, big old Tom come through there and he come across a female with cubs. He kills her, so she'll cycle back and come into season. That's what everybody says anyway.
Man.
Cool. Okay, tell us the story about the lion and the bear in the tree at the same time, and how many other people in the world have done that?
Let's see. After that happened, I've had about maybe 5 other people contact me and say that they've done it before. And of course, they said that they never were able to get the video footage or, were able to take a picture of them with the animals in the tree. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know I don't know how many have ever done it, but I'm glad that I'm one of them, to be honest with you.
And you got proof.
So, yeah.
So that's like.
What's the story? What's the story?
All right. So, just one morning, it was about. I think I took out the dogs. It'd been about 4 days since I took out the dogs because I was working, and I got off work at 7 a.m. that morning, and the kids had gone out to school. My wife went out to work, and I loaded up the dogs, and I was like, I'll just get in some exercise, and we did this big old loop on the top of the mountain, and I had been riding them for about 7 or 8 miles. Every now and then they'd open up, and they kind of veer off, lose it, and then come back, and then I'd pull them off of it, and we keep on moving. And next thing you know, the pack split up. Half went to the north, half went to the south. And the dogs that were going to the south were going to a place where there's not a lot of people, and it was off the side of the mountain. So I was like, I'll just let them work. I don't know which way, this track is. So I couldn't find a track one way. So the dogs that went to the north were kind of headed towards some sheep camps that were in the area. So I stayed close to them to make sure, the sheep hunters didn't try to shoot the dogs, because a lot of these sheep hunters never heard of hound dogs. So when they do hear the dogs, they consider them wolves, and what they'll do is to start shooting in that direction towards your dogs. So I stayed kind of close to the dogs and just watched them work, and they must have went about a half a mile to 3/4 of a mile, just zigzagging back across the road, left and right, and next thing you know, they just fizzled out and made a loose and couldn't figure it out from there. So I was like, okay, well, I guess you guys were on the backtrack. So I picked half of them up. By the time I picked the half of the pack that went to the south back up, the dogs the north dogs, I picked them all back up. And the dogs that went south had already been treed. So I was like, oh, all right. So picked up all the dogs that went to the north that took the backtrack. And I was able to, make my own road here and there and get close. And I got within maybe like 150 to 200 yards, I think it was, something like that. And dumped the rest of the dogs out, and they all made it to the tree. And I started walking the ridge. As soon as I crest the ridge, I looked. There's a ponderosa pine. So the ridge ends here, and the pine tree's right here. So I came up to the top here, and I could see the bear. So I was like, all right. And I was cliffed out. So I had to backtrack and go down and around to where the dogs were. And as I came around the bend, there was this big old boulder in front of me. And I walked up to the boulder, and I still could see the bear. And I walked up and over the boulder, and just right the limb that was right below that bear was where the mountain lion was. I I immediately ducked down because the cat didn't see me. The bear saw me and they didn't care, and the cat didn't see me, so I ducked down. Messed around with my bag, took out my cameras, took out all the stuff. My digital camera, my video record camera, and I got all that out and just started filming left and right, making sure that I got footage of everything.
Can you all see that?
Yeah. It all
Look at
went
that.
away.
Look at that cat mad.
No, that ain't what we see.
That's not
No.
what you see.
Yeah, that's
No.
I see your screensaver. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Stupid thing. I thought I had it
Oh.
figured out.
Almost. You did it good last week.
I know.
Yeah, last week you got it.
You always show us pictures of Chris that we don't want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets that one right on the money every time.
I was looking at the video of that cat. That cat's not happy with that bear up above him.
No, if you look closer to the video or the pictures, you can see both of them have blood all over their snouts, the cat and the bear. So my thing is, what I was thinking was the cat made the kill and the bear came in and they were both sharing the kill.
Yeah. I'll be dang.
So, do you think he was trailing the cat in, or do you think you trailed the bear in, or do you have any idea?
Both.
My money is the bear. The dogs ran off the bear scent. The cat just was there because when the dogs opened up, when we reached that point, the dogs' noses were in the air. They didn't go straight to the ground like trailing the cat. It was in the air.
Right.
They winded it and just kept on moving it. And so my money is that they trail that animal to the following the bear, and that cat was just there, and they were having a feast together, lunch. So
They were sharing.
And then they ended up in the same tree. It's like having a mistress and your wife in the same room.
yeah.
Only you would know about that.
A couple times.
Yeah, there we go.
You see, that's like you say like 4 or 5 people have got a hold of you and said they've done the same thing. But, when we first started hunting and everything, we always heard of all these guys saying, "Oh yeah, last year I caught 32 lions or this and that," and you'd hear all these stories and we finally decided that unless you had a hide or a picture to prove it, then
Didn't happen.
you're just blowing smoke rings up my hind end.
If it ain't on Facebook, it never happened.
Yep.
That's what the deal is in our group. When somebody says treat across the group messenger, no pictures, no proof.
That's it. Got to have you got to have pictures, or you got. So no matter what anybody says, you're the only one in the world that has it done and has proof of it.
Yeah, but have you ever treated a bow hunter? Chuck Miller has.
No, not yet.
Chuck Miller has.
Hey, Mike Bency treat I don't want to use the politically incorrect term. Illegal alien.
There you go. Undocumented.
They were walking up a trail, and it was up here by the organs, and his dogs came out of there, and that guy heard the dogs barking and coming. They were trailing something, so he just climbed up in a tree, and the dogs all pulled up and treed on him.
They seen him. In that poor guy.
And then you got some trashy hounds.
Yeah.
Hey, Calvin, do you do a lot of free and free? Free and free?
Oh yeah.
Release?
If I don't have a
Guy
client,
asked.
I never tag. I eat tag soup every year on my bears and my mountain lion tags. I have tag soup every year.
You only get one, right? Once you use it, you're done?
Yep. You only get one tag every year.
And can you pursue after if you kill something, or you have to have a tag to chase?
You got to have a tag to chase.
Yeah. That's kind of like saying down here.
But so if I have a tag and I fill it, me being a guide, I can take out another person that has a tag, then I can pursue. but I can't pursue without a tag myself, or I can't pursue if I don't have a client that has a tag.
Yeah, as long as someone has a tag when you're running, you're good to go.
Yep. And then
That's
if
how it
for you
is.
guys, so for you guys, if you came out here to hunt,
Hmm.
the only stipulation for you and me at the same time is you had to, whoever you're hunting with has to be immediate family members.
That's George. Don't mind
George.
George.
He's pretty.
Yeah.
George is popular. He gets phone calls every time he's on.
Yeah, all the time.
So say that one more time. You have to be immediate family members.
Yeah, you gotta, in order for somebody to tag along with you during the hunt, they had to be immediate family members.
Oh, so if I came out to hunt with you, it would have to be my wife, my son, my mother, my father, something like that.
Yeah. Otherwise, let's say you bring a friend out that's not your immediate family member, that person has to have a tag as well.
That's
Oh,
that's Navajo
gotcha.
Nation rules.
Yep.
What do you charge for a bear hunt? What do
I
you charge the guide
charge
about?
I charge right around 4.
And that
That's a
give
fair
what,
price.
5 days?
Yep. 5 days, just straight hunting. That's it with the dogs. Room and board, everything's on you.
Oh,
Food wise, it would just be, depending on where we are, either we'll stop at a gas station and pick up something to eat, or I usually have an ice chest full of, luncheon meat and crackers and stuff, and we just eat off of that and keep on moving.
So, is there like a hotel on the reservation that you could stay at if you didn't want to camp, or do you have to stay off the reservation?
Yeah, yeah. So 30 miles south of where I live is a small town called Chinle, Chinle, and they have Holiday Inn Express, Days Inn, and then a local lodging company called Thunderbird Lodge. So that's pretty much where a lot of the hunters will stay, and then in the mornings they'll drive 30 minutes to meet me at my house, drop their vehicle off, and then we'll pile up either in the Ranger or the Taco, and we go chase some bears or lions.
There's a good question,
Yeah,
Brett,
you might,
what's that?
from Broke Dog. From Broke Dog, there's a good question. How many hounds does Calvin run, and how are they bred?
Oh, there you go, Calvin.
Bear season, I run anywhere between 5 and 10 dogs. Majority time, I'll load that box up, and if the dogs, it does you no good to have the dogs in the kennel and trying to work them out. So I'll take all the dogs during bear season. During lion season, if I'm by myself, I take all the dogs. If I got a client, I'll take 5 dogs at most.
How are your
And
dogs
bread,
bred?
bread, oh man, bread is kind of
Smorgasbord.
yeah, it's like mincing, Smoky River. Let's see. Majority of it is mincing and Smoky River. They're mainly strong Smoky River.
How with the when you're running lions, you just try to take 4 or 5 dogs. What do you think and for that? Because that's just any more than that, they're just stomping out the track or.
Well, for that, it depends. I mean, majority of the time, the reason why I take only between 4 to 5 dogs, and that's because the 4 to 5 dogs are broke on cats, and
Mhm.
they know not to open for no reason. The remaining 6 that I have here are either started or getting started, and majority of the time they open just to open. You know, so I don't. I try not to take them because otherwise, the lead dogs will be out in front, and then the idiots would be trailing behind, opening, and they'll bring back the lead dogs, and then they'll backtrack a little bit to the idiots, and then by the time they get back to where the lead dogs originally were, then they've lost.
You're
I
that
don't
much
know,
further behind too.
a couple. Yep. So I'll leave the idiots behind, and then just take the lead dogs. Either that, or I'll take all 10, release the lead dogs, the 5, let them tree, and then I'll take the started dogs into the tree and let them see the cat at the tree, and then smell it, and go from there.
Cool.
You do a lot of snow hunting, or you do a lot of dry ground?
For clients, I do a lot of snow hunting. I'm a snow hunter when it comes to clients, because they're paying me to
Yeah.
get them an animal, and a higher success rate is obviously in the snow versus on dry ground. If we obviously, can I get it done on dry ground? Yeah, but success rate is like maybe 35-40%, and you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. I mean, it may be sub-adult, it may be a female lion, it may be an average cat, but in a 5-day span, you're either going to, on dry ground, you're either going to see one or none.
What about your bear hunts on dry ground? Do they do okay on dry ground?
Oh yeah, well, we can chase about 3 to 4 bears in a day, easy.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it, George?
Yeah.
George
that'd be
George salivating over there.
George is gonna join the Navajo reservation right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'd say if you weren't married, all you had to do was marry a Navajo girl, and you'd be able to, use the Navajo rights and get a tag and be hunting out here.
George might not do that, but that'd be right up Chris's alley.
Heck yeah. I've been trying either the Apache side or Navajo side.
Oh, the San Carlos.
For elk, I'd take Apache.
Yeah. We got some good bears
For
down
elk, I'd
there.
go that
So,
route.
if you were to marry someone from the San Carlos or the White Mountain, could you hunt both places, Calvin?
No.
Oh,
No, they have different rules for their reservation. I mean, I'm pretty much a non-resident if I was to apply for with San Carlos to try to hunt their reservation.
oh, huh? Even if you married one of those Apache gals?
I'm pretty sure, and that's a different case. But if you do that, then yeah, you probably be able to hunt their reservation a lot easier.
Huh? I just curious. It's funny how the rules. I mean, we were up in Cloudcroft, and I know on the Mescalero up there, I don't know what the rules are, but I've never heard of many people hunting on it, and it's right in the middle of Cloudcroft and Ruidoso and all that good lion and bear country up there. But I don't know what the rules are to hunt on it. It's not, near the size of the Navajo reservation, and not like I know the San Carlos and the White Mountain, it's always had a real good reputation for lions. I mean, that's always seems like it was really good lion country. Right, Chris?
All that Apache reservation is good for lion country. So I live right on the border, so it's hard because
Oh,
we'll
wow.
start them bears over here. There's some areas that I'm only like off the road. You're only like 80 yards off the reservation line. There's a road, the 300 road. It runs that reservation line all the way from Cholo to Payson, almost all the way down far. So, those lions, and those bears, and those elk, and those deer, they know that reservation line. They'll
know
head
we're
straight
safe.
to
Oh, yeah.
the reservation.
They know where safety is.
Mm-hmm.
Is there some pretty good country and a good time frame to dry ground lion hunt, Calvin, and good places to get out and get back in backcountry on your mules and stuff?
Yeah, there's some pretty good places. I mean, the problem is like to dry ground hunt in October, from November all the way to about April, you're solid to dry ground hunt. Is pretty much easy when there's no snow. But any other than those dates, you start a mountain lion, you're gonna end up with a bear in the tree, regardless.
Really?
Unless your dogs are completely broke of bear, you start a cat, you're gonna end up with a bear.
$20,000 and you have a dog.
If you have the money, go for it.
My old female dogs, they won't run a bear. They
Yeah.
just won't. They'll run a lion. Now catching a lion, they're a lot of them are pretty satisfied with just trailing, but but they won't run a bear. Yeah, but they'll strike
George.
and run a lion.
George, you need to tell your dad not to let anybody know he's in California. Arizona people
yeah.
and Mexico people, we don't like Californians too much over there.
Yeah.
What's he doing
Is
over
there
there? What's he
anybody?
doing over there?
Yeah. Him and
What's he
mom's
doing?
dad works for me, but he abandoned me. He's I think him
Oh,
and mom's been gone probably a month now, making a
geez.
trip out through a little bit everywhere out there.
Yeah.
They just got tired of you, huh?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, I got so y'all out in the West, what like our life here in the East, we revolve kind of around the acorn crop. Trying to figure out where the bear are eating, all that. What do the bear eat out y'all's way?
Well, it depends on the season. Um, right now, because of all the rain and moisture that we got,
Whoop.
Oh. George, we don't have
some
acorns out
areas
here.
the
We have
acorn,
acorns.
um, and then during the spring, depending on if there's a lot of butterflies, then you'll have a lot of
Oh no. I want to know what
trees.
butterflies have to do with it.
Yeah,
I
now
know.
you're gonna have to start. You're gonna have to start over, Calvin.
We lost the butterfly story.
Okay, so
Yeah, you said
Okay.
butterflies, and that's all we heard.
okay, so sorry. So the caterpillars, when they cocoon up, they'll go into the aspens and make their cocoons way up into aspen trees, and that's like every 2 years. 2 or 3 years is when that happens, and anywhere you can find aspen trees, you're in the middle of bear country when that does happen, because you'll find aspen trees across the road left and right, or you'll just find all types of aspen trees all over the place. And then you've got, right now, the wild berries are starting to grow, and the acorns. In some spots there's an acorn. So
Huh.
That's cool.
Those
never
acorns,
thought about it
those
making- I never
acorns are
thought
growing
about it
slow
making
this
the-
year, though.
The caterpillar and after they went in the cocoon. Never thought about that.
yeah, they'll crawl all the way to the top, break off the top of that aspen tree, and then they'll just. I came across one where a bear knocked down the aspen tree in the middle of the road, and this guy was laying on his belly across the road, laying down on his belly, eating the cocoons.
Wow.
I never thought about that.
You don't have a lot of houses out there, though. It's not like they can go dig in a trash can. So they have to probably forage a lot harder than living next to, city.
Yeah. I mean, they forage a lot more. If it's not that, then they're turning over rocks, eating the insects. So if you can find a bunch of rocks that's on a rock slide, or let's see, a bunch of downed logs, they'd be breaking apart the logs, eating the insects out of the logs. So
You get a lot of mushrooms up there?
no, not really. There's very few. You can find them here and there. Not a lot.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me because, like I say, here in Virginia, our whole season revolves on what is the acorn crop, what is it doing, how's it, So it's so curious for me, to tell what does other people look for. Like I think I'd be lost, coming out y'all's way. Like how would you even figure out where the bear are? Or I reckon maybe y'all got a big enough population you can just run into them.
Well, it depends. So before COVID hit, there wasn't that many people on top of the mountain. A lot of the people stayed off the mountain. And COVID hit, and a lot of the people moved up into the mountains where their great grandparents or their grandparents used to have summer sheep camps. And they rebuilt all these broken down old log cabins that their grandparents put up.
Oh wow.
And so now you have more people going up there, and what that did was push the bears off the side of the mountain. So you can go on top of the mountain, you can still find bears up there, but majority of the time you have to go off the side of the mountain in order to find the bears, because they just got pushed off. And the bears around here are actually kind of smart. They see cattle, they see livestock, they kind of stay away from it and go off the side of the mountain and where they won't go.
That's
So, and
Bears
when
love them
when do
prickly
you guys
pears.
go ahead, Chris?
The comet, the prickly pears. Them bears
Oh,
eat the crap out of them prickly pears over here.
that's what it's like up when I lived up there on the mountain. Is they go from the prickly pear right up into, you'd find a juniper tree that was just pulled apart, and piles of bear crap underneath it full of juniper berries.
Yeah. Down in Globe area, it's all prickly pear and pinyons.
Pignons.
Yeah. The only time
now
they
does
come down for the juniper berries if there's no food on top of the mountain. Then they'll come down lower at the base of the mountain for the juniper berries. Around here, anyway.
and then does that play a part in when the bear go in, or like how does your bear go in for the winter? I'm assuming they do, but is it true hibernation?
Yep. So during the first snowfall, maybe about a week and a half to 2 weeks after the first snowfall, you won't see bears until maybe March, April time frame. Until then is when you'll see bears again. Other than that, you won't be seeing any bears during those months.
When you say first snowfall, what time period are you talking about there?
That's usually towards the end of October. November is when we usually have the first snowfall.
See, here in Virginia, we don't even get to hunt till December.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, we have 3 days in September, right? No, it's 1st of October this year. Second, third, and fourth, or something like that. Third, fourth, and fifth, something. But other than that, it's December before you can run.
Hey Calvin, you got any crappy rules up there you don't like?
No, not to be honest with you. I don't have any problems with any of the rules or regulations in regards to hound hunting. I mean,
Pretty fair.
if somebody's beat me to my spot that I like to hunt, that just the next morning, just make sure you beat that person back to that spot. I'm not. That's pretty much about it. If you beat me to a spot, that's it. I'm gonna move off and go somewhere else. You've got 17 million acres to run on. Why would you cry about one spot when you can find another one?
Yeah.
How about those cell phone game cameras that send the picture to your phone? Are they legal?
For the state of Arizona,
Or
trail
for the
cameras are illegal, right, Chris?
Well,
But
the verbiage, you got to watch that verbiage. They're not illegal. You're not supposed to use them in the aid of hunting. You can have them.
okay,
They just wrote a guy a ticket for posting on the internet. I don't know if you've seen none of that. They just wrote a guy a ticket for posting on the internet. Here's this elk. There was some story behind it. I don't know the full story. Like someone made him mad or something about the elk, and he posted it. Said, if anybody hunts this area, here's this elk. And then Game Fish showed up and gave him a ticket for it.
yeah.
So you
So,
can have game cameras, just not, you can't use them in the aid to take an animal.
okay.
So
But for the rest,
it's just a weird law. Verbiage. It's all about the verbiage.
Okay. But for the reservation, you can use them for the aid of hunting. So,
Yeah.
and you can use cell cameras, the trail cameras. That's I've got a couple of them out. I've got regular trail cameras out that I had to check. Speaking of which, probably tomorrow, or the next day, I'll be headed back up to go check these cameras for where I put them where the elk usually go to see how they're doing. Um, but yeah, you're allowed to use them here on the Navajo reservation.
So in the places where where you hunt lions and everything, is there cell phone service? I mean, is that something you could utilize and take advantage of?
Um, try to. I really do try to, but a lot of the places that I go cat hunting, you rarely do get service.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do get service, it's usually like at the top of a hill or on a peak or somewhere just like that. So yeah, you're very limited on where you can actually put those cell phone cameras.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys were using them at one point, where there was good cell phone service. They put them in known crossing places, saddles and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, so like a lot of the bear on my Facebook stories, a lot of the bear footage that I put on there is from the trail cameras, the cell phone trail cameras.
Cool.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
is
Timothy.
go ahead, Chris.
Well, the guy asked if there was a time frame. You can't. I don't think you can use them at all. Period. No matter what, to hunt at all. Like if they catch you, I'm sure they'd have to really probably do a pretty good investigation. Like I said, it's kind of a hard law to. But they'd have to make sure it's your camera. They'd have to make sure it's that elk that you killed or aided somebody else. You can't even aid somebody else. So that was a loophole. Probably everybody's like, oh, I'll take this picture, give it to this guy. I'm not killing it. But that verbiage covers both. You can't aid someone else or yourself. But I don't think there's no time frame on it. Like, hey, you got to pull it 2 weeks before the season. You're not supposed to use them for hunting at all. Unfair chase.
yeah.
Unfair. So
Right. So out on the reservation,
those.
is there any like here in Virginia we have a right to retrieve, and sometimes you'll hear of people running into problems with your dogs going on property they shouldn't, or people catching their dogs. Is that non-existent out on the reservation?
Yeah, like I said, the reservation is there is no private land. So therefore, if your dog happens to go on somebody else that has an area fenced in, you can just go in there and get that animal, you know. But if that fenced in area so happens to be within half a mile of a house and you want to take that animal, you'd have to go
You
to that house, get written permission from that person, and then you're allowed to go back over there and then shoot that animal.
Do you have a lot of problems with people? Because a lot of those families on the reservation up there have lived there for a long time, family after family. So I mean, they feel it's their property. So when you do get dogs go on what they think is their property, I'm sure it's still their property, and they don't want you there. I'm sure do you run into any of that, or are they pretty calm?
So it all depends on you as the person. If
Yeah,
the animal goes onto their property, then for me, I go to the house and I let him know, hey, I'm hunting this animal, and my dogs happen to chase and put that animal in the tree here. Is it okay if I can go use this road that's going by your house to get to over there to retrieve my dogs? And
yeah.
then majority of the time they'll be like, oh, okay. And then other times they're like, yeah, go for it. Go and take that animal, or go chase that animal back up into the mountains for us, because we don't want it around here because of their livestock. So a lot of them are generous and courteous if you are, but if you're you know just being a
Belligerent.
pain in the ass to them, you're belligerent, yep, then they're going to be like that right back to you and deny you access. And being you all not being Navajo, they'll threaten to call the cops and whatnot and say that you're trespassing on private property.
Outsiders.
Yep, and they'll say you're trespassing on private property and that they're going to call the police. And if that does happen, the police already know that there's no such thing as private property on the Navajo Nation. And the police officer will try to explain that to the person that lives there. And that person will still argue with that officer stating that that land is theirs, that property, and they don't understand that. Just because their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents lived there a long time ago, they automatically assume that land is theirs.
Well, we've had problems like that with, some BLM lease and some state lease, and where that lease has been
Public
owned.
land, even.
That lease has been owned by the same family for many years, and they've been able to treat that government land like it's private land, and they've been able to deny access, and they've gotten away with it. And sometimes we get I've had some problems like that. I've had some issues like that with some guys. Now with the Onyx maps, it tells everybody what the land status is, whether it's private, BLM or state, and there's, it's all marked. So, I've had to say, well, this is public land. I'm allowed to be in here, but they'll still try to run you off.
Yeah, so
a lot of
here.
Go ahead,
Chris.
Calvin. Well,
So-
a lot of those natives have sheep up there, so I'm sure if you're chasing a lion, they don't mind one bit that you're trying to get that lion, because they have a lot of sheep taken with those lions up there.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, you're correct. Yep, you're correct.
But
if
the
you
bears.
use Onyx here on the reservation, the only thing that you're going to get in regards to when you push on land status, it'll say Navajo Nation Trust Land. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that's wrong with Onyx on the Navajo Nation here is the hunting unit boundary lines. The boundary lines are way off on the Navajo reservation. It is nowhere near close. It is about maybe, I don't know, it's sometimes 5 miles off, sometimes 10 to 15 miles off.
So you got to know your area.
Yeah, you've got to know where you're at and where the boundary lines are. And Fish and Game here has actually done their due diligence, and every logging road that is a boundary line, it's a main logging road, are their boundary lines. And it'll tell you, they have signs up that have arrows, to the right is unit 2, to the right is, to the left is unit 3, and so on and so forth. But they do a pretty good job of making the boundary lines either a major logging road or a hardball road,
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that difficult to figure out where you're at when using Onyx. But yeah, but you just gotta know that.
So how long is the lion season there?
It's 6 months, from October to June 31st. October 1st to June 31st.
And you say the quotas, they've only been met like one time, but and your tag is across the whole reservation?
Yep, all 16 units. And those 16 units, some go into Utah and some go into New Mexico, but majority of them are here in Arizona.
Cool.
Here's a controversial question for you, and I know I have a lot of Navajos up there, and the bears. A lot of them guys don't want to hunt bears because they're clan or whatever, right? Do you encounter any of the people not liking you hunting the bears?
All the time, So per our religion, bears are considered our grandfathers, which in our language is translated to our che, che, high tone I, che, which in English terms is translated to grandfather. So they'll lecture me, especially at the gas station when I tell them, we're going to go, hunt bears. They'll lecture me and tell me you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to hunt, bears because they're your grandfathers, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But 2-3 months later, I'll roll up with Fish and Wildlife to a house, and guess what? It's the guy that lectured me on a bear and not hunting bears. That same guy would be the one that I roll up to because that
For
bear killed his
depredation.
sheep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He says, my grandfather's killing my sheep. We got to get rid of him.
I at one time I told the Fish and Wildlife officer, I told him, I was like, this guy said that he didn't like me hunting my che, so just tell him that he fed his che this winter. He let his che get fat this winter, so we can't hunt that bear.
Oh, me.
That Fish and
Yeah,
Wildlife officer just laughed and was like, well, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't say that to him. So
Yeah. Do you speak
The
fluent
Fish and
Navajo?
Wildlife officer he's Navajo, right? Correct.
Oh, yeah.
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 The Fish and Wildlife officer, majority of them are Navajo. We've got 3 of them that are non-Navajo, but they're married to Navajo. But
Yeah.
you can be a Fish and Wildlife officer and be non-Navajo if you wanted. If you meet the regulations, you're totally fine, and you'll get accepted for being a Fish and Wildlife officer.
And you speak fluent Navajo?
I understand Navajo perfectly fine. Depending on what location and where I am, I can't speak Navajo that well because the Navajos on the east side of the reservation versus the west side versus the south side versus the north side all have different dialogues.
Oh, yeah.
So speaking Navajo in one area is a little bit different than speaking in another. It means something slightly different but the same. So it all depends on what area you're in
That's
because it's so vast,
That's like
So
that's like. Go ahead.
so you got so the farthest east that the reservation goes is Albuquerque, New Mexico. Just on the outskirts of Albuquerque, New Mexico is where the reservation starts. The farthest west that it goes is the Grand Canyon.
wow.
The farthest north is Aneth, Utah. The farthest south would be the I-40, or is it I-40 or I-10? The one that goes into Flagstaff.
I-40.
I-40.
I-40. I-40 is pretty much kind of the boundary line for the
Yes.
reservation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge chunk of land right there. I've
Yeah.
worked all over the reservation. I forget the name of the town, some little town out there. I just did 2 tanks last year. Then I worked in Kayenta. I worked all over the place. And then my dad always told the stories. He went out there and he was doing gas pipelines. And he always said, and what Calvin said explains it perfectly. My dad said, it's real strange. He said, we'll be digging ditch to put in pipeline. He said, you'll go right through somebody's yard and they won't say nothing to you. They'll come out and step right over your ditch, never say nothing to you. But with his explanation with there's no private land, then they didn't care. It was public land to them. That, whatever was going on was fine. So that's pretty cool.
What about lions? You got any problem with lions? Anybody whine about the lions, really? Any tradition on the lions?
Definitely. No, there's not. So they don't really understand. So they use certain parts of the lion in ceremonies. So they've got this. The gallbladder is used for a protection powder. It's called childichi, like sour sour roots. It's kind of the translation for that into English, chilichi. And it's they use the gallbladder and they mix it with a certain plant, and they use that for protection because the mountain lion is strong, it's fierce, so they use that. And a lot of people don't understand that, and some people do get upset when you tell them you're hunting mountain lions, and then you ask them, they'll ask you why you're hunting it and what do you do with it, and you just got to explain to them, the gallbladder goes to medicine men, and then those medicine men turn it over and they use it to make this bitter powder for protection for you, and then the medicine men will give it to people, and people, what they do is they'll lick their tongue, stick it into that powder, and then put it on the tip of their tongue again for protection. And then the spine of the mountain lion, you know how it's got that real dark brown color all the way down to the tail?
Yeah.
They'll use that. They'll dry it out and make it as a hair tie for the ladies. When the girls turn to women, when they first have their when they first go into puberty, they have a puberty ceremony, and they use that spine, that dark strip on the mountain lion, as a hair tie during that ceremony to help make that lady strong. So
Man,
they don't
I think on
understand that
the
there's certain
Apache
stuff that
reservation, it's called the sunrise dance or sunrise ceremony for the women.
I believe it was. Yep, I think you're right. But yeah, there's certain parts that they use for it, and a lot of these Navajos don't understand. Where do you get this from? It just doesn't. It just doesn't appear. These medicine men make it, and they need. How did they get them a long time ago? Somebody had to hunt these mountain lions in order to get this, get the gallbladder.
And then they call you a month later to come kill it off their sheep.
Yeah, pretty much. That's usually that's how it goes. Yeah, a month or 2 months later, you'll roll up with the Fish and Wildlife on a depredation call, and lo and behold,
The same
hey, weren't
person.
you the one that was lecturing me at the gas station last month?
It kind of shocks me though, because what he's saying about how they don't understand how they get that mountain lion gallbladder or how they get that strip of darker hide off the spine. It reminds me of, like, kids in maybe not my exact area, but kids that I hear about in these more populated areas that are like, oh, they think all the groceries come from the grocery store. That nobody needs to milk a cow and make cheese. Nobody needs to
Yeah, they don't.
can these vegetables. That they just go to the grocery store and get it. There's no reason to actually farm. And it just blows my mind to hear a Navajo say that there's people in the Navajo Nation that kind
don't
of have the same
understand.
type of thought. Yeah, don't understand. Have the same kind of thought. Because when he was talking about his game rules, I was thinking, wow, they're a lot smarter than we are. They've got a lot more common sense.
We lost Chris.
Yeah, my camera.
Oh,
It's
you want
restarting.
me to get out your picture?
I bet you find it quick.
Chris's picture. Let me see if I can find it. We got to do this every now and for Chris.
I guarantee
It's
you,
amazing.
Chris, he's got it. He's got it in the holster, ready to draw.
I know. He find that quick
Yeah,
as heck.
Oh, that's funny.
it's on speed dial.
I had to change computers.
And those horses, here's another controversial issue up on the Navajos, is they were supposed to kind of open up tags for the horses, and then
Oh, the wild
come
horses?
in and shut them down. I wish they would have.
Who came in and shut them down?
PETA, anti-hunters.
PETA. Yeah, so PETA came to the Capitol on the Navajo Nation and protested. And so when PETA comes onto the reservation and protests, they're immediately escorted off the reservation and banned from being on the reservation. And that's not to say that they can protest on the borders of the reservation, and the president, just didn't like that negative publicity from PETA, so he pulled those hunts. And so the hunt was supposed to be not to kill any random horse. Okay, it was meant to kill one Mustang that was the stud.
Oh.
It had to be a stud Mustang. That's what you were allowed to take. That was the purpose of the hunt, to stop the crazy breeding all over the reservation. That was the purpose of it. And you can't
kind of like taking out the
drive.
big bull buffalo. Kind of like taking out the big bull buffalo, or the
Yeah, you can't drive within 10 miles and not see a herd of wild horses that nobody's claiming on the reservation. You just go left and right. You'll see a herd here, herd there, herd here.
Oh, Calvin, they claim them as soon as you go load them in a trailer. All of a sudden, it's their horse, and you're trying to run them the whole route.
Yep.
My favorite horse I have is off the Navajo reservation. My gray mare. I love reservation Mustangs. Love them. Easy to train.
All right.
It's so interesting. That's just a total different world y'all got out there.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Hold on.
He's still trying to find that picture, ain't he?
No. I got something else.
What else you got going on there?
I want to go out there sometime, George.
I know. It sounds pretty good, don't it?
We're going to have to load up and go, ain't we?
Hey, Calvin, so can someone come hunt with you? Like, if they can just run dogs with you? Or do they have to have a tag?
They have to have a tag. So like if you I'm not gonna say Brett. Brett doesn't hunt in the snow, so if any of you three decided to come hunt here in the wintertime with me, I would just tell you guys, get a tag and we'll go chase lines. I wouldn't even put in a charge, and we would just go hunt lines.
I'm
pay 200.
I'm coming, Calvin. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm going on my first line hunt this year anyway. I'm going with Mike Vinci later on this fall. So.
Oh yeah, hey, have fun on the meals and enjoy the hunt, man. I mean, dry hunting is way different than snow hunting, that's for sure. I go dry hunting any day of the week over snow hunting. I mean, just to see the dogs work constantly all the entire time. That's me.
I'll enjoy that, and I will definitely take you up on that invite. I'll definitely be out to hunt with you sometime. What the rest of these clowns do, I don't know.
I never was like the snow hunting. We didn't have good snow conditions anywhere I've ever lived, and I never would drive 3 hours to go hunt. I always just drive, or I just hunt where I'm at, and it's probably not the best thing in the world to do, but that's just what I did. I got another picture for us.
I always ask people, I say, you want to, they're like, take me lion. Let's go get a lion. I say, well, you want to kill a lion or do you want to hunt a lion? If you want to kill a lion, you got to wait till it snows. If you want to hunt a lion, let's go to the desert.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Yep.
There we go.
Oh, there you
go. There he is.
I got that same outfit.
Looks just like him.
A little bit. His beard, his mustache.
I wouldn't talk about that old man like that.
Don't insult that man.
Yeah, don't insult that old man.
I'd fight him.
No, I'd love to. I just recently sold my business, and I'd love to come up there and hunt with you sometime. I mean, I think that'd be a hoot.
Yeah. So mountain lion tag, $250. That's it. There's no licensing fee. There's no nothing else. And let's see.
Is that all year?
Looks from October 1st to June 31st is lion season.
So when you buy the tag, does it last from October to June, or is it just for the 1 year? Oh, gotcha.
Nope, October to June. Yep.
Okay.
Well, you got mules. We could go camp somewhere and ride some big circles on the mules. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean that'd be pretty good. I mean, so I know for a fact, like in the bighorn sheep country, further down towards Page area, there's some lions down there that have been killing a lot of the bighorn sheep, and I've been talking to Navajo Fish and Game about letting myself and a couple of the officers go over there and spend like 1 or 2 weeks over there and just kill whatever cats we tree or ledge. And they thought about it, but I don't know if they're going to ever do it. But that was something that we talked about. And where they're at, either you have to boat in from Lake Powell and go upstream about, I think it was like 15, 20 miles, or you drive in with trailers and mules about maybe 40 miles and then ride the mules in about another 5-6 miles to get to the area where there possibly could be some lions.
Man,
But
now you're talking.
You've only got from, let's say, 5 o'clock to maybe about 9 o'clock to hunt, because after 9 o'clock, those red rocks will get
hot.
anywhere between 90 to 110 degrees, and good luck trying to, I mean, I don't know what kind of scent dog you need to be able to trail on that type of terrain, but
is it like a sandstone?
It's like a sandstone and like slate type of deal. It just gets super hot. It's like a frying pan. Like it's just a smooth rock.
So it'd be rough on dog's feet too. Looks like trying to
Gets
get
that
around
hot.
on that.
Yeah, but I mean, you have big old valleys and deep canyons that these cats that will go in, and majority of the time when they do get out of the sun, it's going to be in those deep canyons. And if your dog ain't careful and not know how to walk the ledges, hey, you're hunting for an expensive $300 necklace.
Yeah,
Man,
Yep.
done that
So
before.
you said you needed a tag, $250. Do you have to get a hunting license or just the tag?
Just the tag. There is no hunting license. And then I think except for Brett, the rest of us might be born after 1970, right? Who's born before 1970?
I get the senior
All right.
citizen discount.
So if you were
I'm 75.
okay, so if you were born before 1970, you're grandfathered in, and you don't need to have your hunter ed card. If you're born after 1970, you had to carry a hunter ed card on your person while hunting.
Oh, you're a hunter. What card?
A hunter education card.
Oh, I got one.
Oh.
So
But you're still grandfathered in with that beard.
I've got a digital copy. Is that good, or do you have to have a hard copy?
It's just got to be a hard copy that you have to have on your person while hunting. It doesn't have to be from the Navajo Nation. It can be from any state.
Oh, any
I've
hunter's ed
got
course.
mine from the state of Virginia on my phone. I keep it on my phone.
Yeah, as long as you have it on your person, you're golden, and you have that $250 tag to hunt mountain lions. Bobcats or small game is year round. For myself, it's $35. For you guys, it's $55 for non-Navajo, and that's unlimited bobcats, unlimited small game. So coyotes, anything smaller than a coyote, is considered small game.
Do you put many bobcats up?
In the snow, we can put up bobcats easy. On dry ground, it's something different. I mean, if you go, if you've got a dog that can go track for track, keep his nose glued to the ground the entire time, I'd say you got about a 50-50 chance of it going into the tree. But I've seen, I don't know if you guys know Dale Robertson. He's
Hmm.
near your area, Chris. Yeah,
Yeah, I know Delroy.
that gentleman's got some. Yeah, he's got. I don't know if you've seen his post the past 2 days. He's got some pretty good dry ground dogs too. He with
He's got
the
that
That
four
guy
male.
dog,
don't
five
mess
dogs that
around.
he had.
He's got that red tick male dog. I don't know how he's bred, but that thing must be something special. I mean, he's caught a lot of game with that dog.
Yeah,
Dell
they
don't
put
mess
up a
around.
bobcat like 2 days ago.
Dell don't mess around.
Is he in pretty good country? Where's he at?
That's
By
right there on
Young?
the other side of. Yeah, he's in Young. He
That's
lives in
good
Young.
country. I've heard.
Oh yeah, you got Pitcher Mountain. The other side's Tonto Basin. There's lions, bear. So
Yeah, that what's that old guy used to be up there was a heck of a dog trader. We talked about that before, and
Stephen
I couldn't ever get it.
Johnson, something Johnson,
He's the one who got in trouble for
or
he took somebody jaguar hunting or something. They brought a jaguar over here. This is way back in the day. I forget. He was in one of those Bruce Kennedy videos where Bruce interviewed all those old guys. I can't remember his name.
Johnny something maybe.
I don't know, but he was a dog. He was kind of a dog trader. No, I can't. Even when Bruce interviewed him, and Bruce interviewed him like back in 2000, 2001, he was an old man then. But I can't remember his name. He had hound dogs chained up all over the place.
You're gonna have to dig that one up.
Yeah, I wish I could find it. I got it somewhere. I'll put it on this channel. I've been trying to put all of those on this channel, on this interview stories and tales, trying to, keep all this just about the hounds and the interviews and then these live deals. I enjoy doing this.
Yeah. Calvin, why don't you tell us one of your best stories? I know you got a good story.
I already did.
How can you get bigger than a
I don't know how you
bear
can
and a
top
lion?
that, man.
Well, they got to be a good mean bear story or good mean lion story.
Well, other than
We got two
a
thumbs
mountain lion
down.
taking.
Who gave us?
Other
Is
than-
Call
that
him out.
Lambert again?
Who gave
It's
us
probably
two
my
thumbs down?
father-in-law.
That's probably George again.
Yeah, it's probably my father-in-law again.
They don't know the rules about that. We get a thumb. I know who it is. We'll hunt you down.
Hey, Calvin, do you got a lot of rattlesnakes over there? I've seen two questions about it already.
No, not on top of the mountain. I've never seen rattlesnakes on top of the mountain. The back down towards the bases, and right around now, there is a couple of mountain lions, but or not mountain lions, sorry, rattlesnakes. But very rarely do you ever run into them. I get a couple, maybe like one or two, that will curl up in the den, and the dogs will bait up and go nuts, and I have to go out there and club it over the head. But other than that, I don't have any problems with rattlesnakes whatsoever.
Yeah. You got any ghost bear, ghost lion that you just can't catch?
Oh, there's this giant. This guy looks like a lion from Africa. He's got this huge. He's just muscular. He looks like he works out every day in the gym, and we call him. And he is on, the east side of the mountain in this canyon. It's near Sonosti, and we call him the Sonosti monster. And this cat, you'll cut him on top of the mountain, and it's him because he comes out of the one area every single time, and he crosses that exact same spot. He'll come out of that canyon and go up the mountain. You'll cut him. You'll put the dogs down. He'll go up the mountain and make a huge U-turn and go straight back into that canyon. And that canyon's got ledges several different ledges that are about anywhere between 5 to 15 feet, and it's just like a staircase all the way down 15-foot ledges, and that cat will jump down every one of them, and just ledge the dog. By the time you get down there, you have dogs on different ledges. You're having to crawl down, rappel down, and get dogs, and it's just a nightmare to get this cat. I mean, unless you catch him crossing that road and put him up in the tree, this cat will make it into that canyon and ledge every single one of your dogs somewhere, somehow, to the point where you're screaming, crying, and moaning because you have to crawl down 15 ledges to get one dog. Like, it is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Does he go into that canyon in the same spot every time, or does he just find a
No,
different route?
he comes out one spot every time, but when he goes in, he comes out different. He goes in at different spots every single time, and I swear your dogs will be strung out in like a 4 mile span on different ledges every single time.
He's a smart old cat.
Yep. Yep, and we call not the Sonosti monster. I'm sorry, we call him the Sonosti giant because of how big this guy is. I mean, he's huge, and I can never.
He's big. He's big for a reason.
We can never able to. Yeah, we can never catch him. I mean, there's different hound hunters that know about this cat, and they've came out to try to put him up, and every single time, 2 days later, you see them on social media in the same area just trying to retrieve their dogs.
Man.
What do you think he weighs?
Oh, easy above 170. Easy. I'm not even lying. Like, I think we've only gotten 2 cats that were above 165. No, one was 168, and the other one was like 173, and both of them made the.
Those are big.
Made the what is that thing? The Boone and Crockett, or here for the Navajo Nation.
You know, you hear a lot of the people saying 200-pound cats, but people don't understand how big a 150-pound cat is. You know, I had a picture sent to me. Said, look at this. This is a 175-pound cat, and it was my friend's cat, and he weighed it at 154. And I said, no, that's a 150-pound cat. I said, no, man, 175 is it. I will bet you money, but a 150-pound cat is big.
Yeah.
So anybody who says they got a 200-pound cat, they just kind of
that's a Canadian cat. To be honest with you, that's up in Canada, Toronto.
That's what I was going to say. That's Acadian or northern Utah, something like that. That's the cat up there.
Yeah, if you guys follow this guy, his username's like Frozen Man. He's up there in Canada, and they do a lot of guiding up there, and they get some beastly cats. They take out their clients.
Frozen Man Outfitters or something like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They get some huge cats. You talk about 200.
They're hunting like 20. They're hunting like 20 degree below weather or something too all the time. So.
Did you ever see that cat that those guys? I think they were pretty close to the reservation. They called him in and killed him, and they had a picture of him. He was huge. And I don't know how much he weighed or anything, but his head was just unbelievable how big he was. But it was over there south. I think it was south of Gallup somewhere that they called him in and shot him.
It was a Navajo guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I am 5'5". The guy that's holding the cat is about 5'2", 5'1".
There you go. That's like you were seeing that picture of that cat we caught down in the Floridas, and the guy that's holding it, he's holding, like you hold him.
Yep.
That guy's only like That guy's only like 5'1", but it was a big Tom anyway.
Yeah. So I think it was a big cat. Yep. And
Brett, the one you're talking about, is that father and son that's out hunting?
Yeah,
I think so. It's a pretty popular picture. going around the.
I think there's a YouTube video that I'm talking about. It's father and
Maybe
son.
it was a video. I can't remember exactly.
Here's the 173 cat.
Oh, that's a big cat.
Holy cow!
Look at the forearms on that thing.
Yeah. Schwarzenegger cat.
Oh,
That's
can
an
you
Arnold
imagine
Schwarzenegger cat.
something like
And
that?
that guy is 6 foot.
Wow. How old do you think a cat like that is?
That cat, it was around like 5.5.
Really?
Yeah. And we trailed it starting at 8 a.m. and we didn't get done until about 4 p.m. I think it was trailing that cat.
Wow. After he jumped, was it tree pretty fast?
After they jumped him, it was like maybe a quarter of a mile. That was it. He was in a tree.
Really? That's a nice one. Nice one.
Yep. I know who you're talking about. It's Stephen Peter is the son's name. I forgot the father's name. That cat.
I can't remember if they have him held up or if they were just, for some reason I seem to remember them sitting down next to him or something. But I remember the size of the head.
Yeah, they have him held up just like the picture that I showed you. They have him held up
Do
like
they?
that. Yeah.
And he's a real pale colored lion, real light
yep,
yellow.
really light skinned. Yep. He's really light skinned. Yeah, everybody thought it was a female lion.
Mm-hmm. Real, but big. Yeah, that's cool.
Out there, is it? If you had to pick one, is it lion hunting? Man,
that makes me cold.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
That one was the 168 or 169. That's the other one that made the Boone and Crockett.
Look at the shoulders on that thing.
I go say, look at the belly. I mean, see how the belly is.
It's full.
He's full.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Those are nice cats.
But an immature cat won't have a belly like that even when it's full, though, right? Won't it still be a little more smooth?
It will have it'll have a belly like that depending on how how he eats. Yeah.
That's why I got a big belly as I'm mature.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
That one's a little thinner. That's a nice cat, though. Probably his belly's not as full.
Johnny all hyped up.
Yeah, that's your above average female right there.
That's a female?
Oh, that's a female.
That's a female, yep.
Whoo!
Unbelievable.
That's nice.
Yep. There you go, Johnny.
Are you ready to go, John?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Here's the other one.
Jeez.
And now you know why a lot of people, pass up lions around here because they all want this size of a cat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Especially if you catch them the first day. You catch them the first day, and then they get all excited. And if it's a small one, they think, oh, we'll catch another one tomorrow.
I imagine, you put them on a mule and ride for 7 days and 8 days and catch a 60-pound female, and they'll want to shoot it.
Yeah. You treat a bobcat, don't want to put the tag on.
Just say we just want to go home.
My favorite one is the one in the swirls.
That's cool.
I want to catch one in the swirl cactus.
Oh, Dave Carlson. He had some pictures of, I think it was Dave. Did you know Dave Carlson, Calvin? Did you ever hear of him?
No, I did not.
He's over there in your country somewhere. I think he was by, was it Prescott? Prescott? I think he was.
But this is my favorite photo. My friend found a deer kill, right? And so he put a trail camera out just to see what was coming to it. Here's one of them.
Lion's just sitting there waiting for him to leave.
Yeah.
They're curious. We set traps and had lions walk down to the traps and see what we were doing right after.
That's
Yeah.
a cool picture. I wish he'd
Yeah.
hurry
So
up and leave.
Will they
Sneaky,
mess with the
sneaky.
Will they mess with the trail camera any a line? Because like
Bears
I
do.
know a bear. I mean, a
Yeah.
bear just wires the trail camera out.
Tears them out.
So I was just
well,
wondering if a
they'll
line did, if a line messed with them any.
yeah they do. They'll sniff it and then they'll push it around a little bit. I've had one not too long ago. I just barely got the camera off of the canyon, and it was a mother with her two kittens, and the mother comes on the screen, and then she goes off screen, and then the two kittens come out and they wrestle and they play in front of the camera for a long time, and you can see one of them walks right up to the camera, smells it, licks it, and then the camera shifts after that to it moves to the left, like I don't know, like 45 degrees, and then you can see them walking off after that. And so they mess with the camera, yeah.
I
I
mean, I would think because they're a cat. I mean, they may not be a
curious.
house cat, but they still have the same tendencies as any other cat to be curious and play with
Yeah,
stuff.
especially like what was that I forgot who it was. I forgot that person's name, but he does a lot of trapping, and he puts up CD discs
Oh
Yeah,
right
yeah.
above their
Oh yeah.
traps, and it spins and it tracks the cat. Yeah, they just like anything that of the not normal, they'll go up to figure it out and see what it is. You know.
When I
I've
when
I'm
I
seen a lot
helped
of
that
guys use those CDs and hang a feather, take feathers out of a dust mop, and hang the feathers up with the CD to catch bobcat.
we used to I helped this guy that was he made his living trapping bobcats, and he used to take like the tape out of a VHS tape or whatever and hang it up in trees, below his sets, and to a track. And he always said, well, he said there'll be a bobcat walking down that ridge right there, and he'll see this shining, and he'll have to come down and investigate it, see what it
Yep.
is. But we couldn't use, like, if you took a feather, it had to be a fake feather because you weren't allowed to use any animal parts at all as bait for your sets.
Can we use a Chihuahua, Brett?
Yeah, just
In the
put him
snow.
out there.
In the snow, you can.
Huh? In snow you can. I've about had it with this Chihuahua. I'll be in trouble when
Yeah.
I go to bed after a while.
Good deal.
Let's see. I'm a big bobcat. Let's see.
Calvin,
Big
I've,
They're out
bobcat,
I've
there.
seen
CDs, feathers,
three,
Christmas hens. Well, cats are curious for sure. Yep.
I've seen three people
Yep.
ask about Bigfoot. Can you please tell them if there's a Bigfoot up there or not?
What was it? A couple of years ago. I don't know,
He
about
has a
8 or 9
story.
years ago. Yeah, like 8 or 9 years ago, they had one of the documentaries come on, and they not too far from here, like in Saline, it's probably about 8 miles from here. There's a lake, and they have a picture, of course, and the picture's all distorted, and you can
Always
see
is.
um, a Bigfoot walking across the edge of the lake drinking water. And they did a big old documentary on it, but I don't know. I've never, as many times as I've walked out of the mountains and the pitch black dark and been in there right before dawn, I've never seen anything, to be honest with you. Never heard or, a
Well,
lot of people get afraid of, when a mountain lion calls when they're in heat, or a bobcat calls when they're
yeah.
in heat. They make that screeching sound
Screaming.
that sounds like like somebody's torching the living daylight out of a child.
Mhm.
Yep. They you hear that at night, yeah, you'll think twice and consider your mind will run. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Is it part of Navajo folklore? Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I know some Native
Not
American
really.
tribes.
It's
Skinwalkers.
not really. It's mainly skinwalkers. Yeah,
Yeah.
shapeshifters type of deal. Yeah, that's the main thing around here.
And you guys don't like coyotes. Bad luck,
So
right?
it depends. It depends on who you talk to.
Mhm.
If a coyote crosses your path headed east, it's a bad omen, and it
You're
depends
not
on how you
supposed to
think about
go
it.
in that path, right? You're not.
Yeah,
You're supposed to
it
go
depends on how
around it.
you think of it. Yeah, so it depends on how you think about it. Okay, so for me, I think about it as a warning. Hey, This coyote is warning you, telling you that something bad's going to happen. So therefore, it's a good omen. You know, he's warning you, telling you that something's going to happen, right? But a lot of people think of it as a bad luck, bad omen, like something bad's going to happen. So therefore, I hate coyotes. So it all depends on who you talk to, but majority of them, yes,
Gotcha.
like a high 85% will consider it as a bad omen. Same thing with owls. Owls are the exact same thing because they're nocturnal. They don't come out during the day. So you see one during the day, it's bad luck.
I think that's in every race, religion, culture, no matter what. The owl's kind of a daytime bad omen.
I'm going to go
Yeah,
here to
we
my
got
other
one that
computer and find that guy's name.
yeah, we
Hey,
got
I
one
want
owl
'em-
that comes out right here, right by the house, and it hunts jackrabbits, and it's right here in the field. Actually, it sleeps right here in the tree right next to the house.
Hey, I
Crazy.
want them to hoot early morning. I want them to hoot springtime, early morning. I need to hear them
Oh,
turkeys go.
turkey.
Yeah.
Yep. hmm
You got
That
turkeys
yeah, I
up
got
there,
a
don't you?
Merriman's. Yep.
Miriam's.
Merriam's. Yep. That's what we have. That's
That's
all
the
we
on-
have.
that's the only turkey I like. I've got the rest of. I've got one of the rest.
Yep. That's all we have around here is Merriam's.
Good deal.
George, we gotta go out there.
That's
I
a lot of
know, man. It's
information.
so good.
I'm gonna load George and his dogs up in my truck, and we're coming out there.
See, we're you're hunting with Mike Bensi. Is it going to be here in Arizona or in Colorado?
New
It's gonna be in
Mexico.
New Mexico.
New
It's gonna be
Mexico.
in El,
Yeah.
gonna be in El Capitan, in Lincoln County.
Oh, I'm like 3 hours from there. It's not too bad.
So maybe if me and Mike put one up early, I'm calling Calvin. Say I'm heading your way.
Yeah, we can get you a tag. You know, you can go hunt and go play for a little bit. Yep.
So I know you've
Is
probably
there a
said it
limit on
already,
those
but
tags?
the
Say again?
bear tag, what do I need? Like, if I was to leave here today and come out there to go bear hunting, what all do I have to do? And when is y'all's bear season?
So bear season started a week ago right now, and it goes all the way to the. This is the fall bear hunt. It started a week ago, and it goes all the way to the second week in October. That's fall bear. We
Okay.
have a spring
Yeah.
bear hunt,
But that's a
and
draw.
that yep, both of them are
So
draw
you have,
tags.
and there's only 2 non-resident tags.
Yep. So if you don't get drawn during the lottery draw tag, then you would have to go to the OTC tag, over the counter tag sale, which all you do is submit your application and your credit card authorization form via email to Navajo Fish and Wildlife, and you're automatically entered to get a tag.
How many people put in for that tag? The 2 tags.
The 2 tags, probably about 5 or 6. So you have a good
Really?
chance. Yeah. I
No,
mean, it
only
depends
five or
on
six.
it depends on where you hunt. So,
Yeah.
like I said, units 1 through 5, the ones that has a lot of road access, maybe
Yeah.
about 5 or 6 will put in for that. The unit that has little to no roads, which is unit 12, they have 7 tags available, and usually nobody puts in for it, and those just go to over the counter automatically because nobody wants those tags. Nobody wants to be walking all day long for a bear in those
That's just that's crazy.
units,
There's
I
only
should say.
5 or 6 that put in. Until this
Well,
podcast, now you're going to see about 100.
yeah, but it's $1,000 though. Like for the it's $1,000 for that 1 through 5 unit tag. That's one
Oh,
reason why. For the state of Arizona, for where you live, for the state is what? I don't know what
three
that is
hundred
for.
$300
Yeah,
for out.
see,
I think it's $300, and then your out of state tag is, or your hunt license, 150. So you're probably $500 maybe.
okay, so see, I mean, 500
Mhm.
versus 1,000. Majority of everybody would go to try to hunt the state versus 1,000 on the Navajo Nation.
But they don't get to hunt with Calvin.
Yeah, that's the only downside. Yeah.
Stuck with me.
So it sounds like cat hunting is the actual. That's the. Is that what you are as a cat hunter? Is that what you consider, or
Yeah,
Both.
I love cat hunting. I enjoy cat hunting better than I do bear hunting.
right?
And then that's between those two. And then snow hunting and dryland hunting, I prefer to dryland hunt than snow hunting because
Right.
I want to watch
I
the dogs work.
I think every houndsman in the Southwest starts out bear hunting because it's easier. It's a lot of excitement. And then you get a little older, you get into lion or snow hunting, and then you get old and smart and just want to kind of chill out. And I think you enjoy watching the hounds more than you do anything else. So they moved dry ground. I love dry ground hunting, even though your catch rate is like 2% sometimes, depending on where you
or
hunt.
lower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lower. Yeah, 0.5.
I've been chasing one lion over down in this crappy area. I think in between Casa Grande and Yuma, I think there's only 4 or 5 lions in a 100-mile, 200-mile stretch. There's not very many. So, and it's hard to catch. I almost had her caught one time, and my dogs are full of choya, and I was crying like a baby, and my mule was 3 miles away. It was horrible. It was horrible, but it was probably one of the best hunts I've done. So, it's those hard hunts that you make it out of, that you hate yourself, you hate your dog,
Yeah,
you hate your mules, you hate life, and then when you get home, you're like, I'll go again. It was fun. But during, you're like, no way. I don't want to do this no
And you
more.
remember them hunts. Yeah,
You
them's the ones
do.
you remember.
To the detail. Detail.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, Brett, what do you think?
CJ Proc. It's the guy's name.
DJ Prop.
And I
yeah.
can't.
Brett talking about his aluminum dog box finally made me go down to Lakeside yesterday near your country, Chris, and pick up and
Yep.
borrow my friend's TIG welder. And so I said, you know what? I think it's about time to get away from this metal dog box. So I cut up all the aluminum that I had, and now that's what I was doing earlier. I'm sitting there putting my aluminum dog box together. So that's what I've been
I
up to
think
lately.
if you put enough gussets in it, not just throw a weld on a corner I think if you put enough gussets in it to where it will not shift like this, you know what I mean? If you put enough gussets in it, I think, because you got rough country out there too. I don't care how much you bolt those down, that it's still just kind of a dog box goes back and forth in that truck, and if you bolt it to the truck, that thing's doing this too.
Yeah, because I'm gonna run the entire top side with a complete diamond plate aluminum, so it shouldn't shift. And I'm gonna weld that all the way down to the 1-inch piping, our tubing. So
I
it's
would
gonna be a
put
project.
inside your corners, I'd put just a little triangle gusset all around the inside of that. Just a little gusset, 1 or 2 inch gusset, just to keep it from really moving. That's just my opinion. I ain't no engineer.
Oh, don't worry about it. It makes sense,
Yeah.
Like I said,
Can you all see everything okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a little bit too clear.
Me?
I don't know if he called you too white, or the white man, or what.
You're blending in with the walls behind you, Brett.
Oh man.
Redheads.
I got enough guys on here insulting me to bring one extra. Trying to
That's
get
a lot of information, Calvin. Appreciate it.
But yeah, it's fun. Like I said, you can throw a rock in any direction and never hit a houndsman for miles. So
That's pretty cool.
I think right, and then with the Navajo Nation hound hunter or the Navajo hound hunters that are here, they usually post in the mornings saying that they're headed out, on Facebook, and you're like, okay, well they're gonna hunt this area, so I know to stay out of that area. So
Yeah.
you kind of know who's out and about majority of the time.
Good deal. 7:00, Brett.
It's getting late.
Well, not for me. It's 7:00 here. 8 for you, and I think George is on what, 10?
Yeah,
See,
probably.
This is that
Yeah, 10
article.
o'clock.
This is that article where he was. They were trying to extradite him, and he was bringing jaguars in. See if I can find it. Idaho judge reminded the defendant that the alleged offense occurred in New Mexico, and therefore the third challenge was that. Let's see. Well, where's it saying? Oh, in Idaho. Next around jaws of justice are nipping at the heels of Curtis J. Prock, the 61-year-old Idaho guide who has been accused of rigging mountain lion and jaguar hunts near Magdalena last year. Prock is currently fighting extradition to New Mexico, where it has been decreed he must face charges stemming from the transportation of unlawfully possessed game animals. The Idaho native was charged with bringing these animals into the mountainous area south and east of Magdalena, there to be shot by hunters who paid extra sums to run down, tree, and kill either a mountain lion, jaguar, or a leopard. Can you imagine that? After being
How hard
apprehended.
is it to smuggle a jaguar and a leopard into this country? That was back in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
80s? Yeah.
That's,
the
I
date
mean,
on that?
just to be able to do that, he had to be pretty good at something. But I got another thing here. I'll show you if I can find it.
What do you got coming up, Calvin? Anything?
Can't
The
find
next
it.
couple weeks?
Just working on that dog box, bear hunting, taking the dogs out bear hunting, youth elk hunt in November. No. Yeah, November, and then wait, what's this one? August, September, October. October is the youth elk hunt. Then in November, I got my bull tag, and then after that, it's just straight into lion season.
Yeah. Our game and fish go up there a lot, huh? You guys do a lot with our game and fish. I know they go up there every year, do some stuff. You probably know Sean Wagner.
They help with the youth hunt. Yep, that's what's going on right now. They've got all 20 kids, and they're doing their mentorship.
Yeah.
With
Dan Diamond. And
yeah.
Sean Wagner.
Yeah, so what is that? Bone collectors. So bone collectors, all of their sponsors donate head to toe hunting gear, everything that they need to hunt, sleeping bags, tents, everything except for a rifle, to 20 kids on the Navajo Nation. And then those 20 kids get all this gear, and then they get mentored by Navajo Fish and Game and Arizona Fish and Game, and they get taken out, and they get this year is going to be different. Last year before, it was any deer tag. It was an any deer tag. This year it's going to be any deer or elk tag, so they got the choice to either hunt deer or elk this year. So that's going to be next month, I believe it was. So right now they're going through mentoring. The mentor and mentees are meeting up, and they just got done with their rifle ranges last week, I believe it was. And then, so they're doing, that's what they're doing right now.
So,
and that's
you think I could,
pretty much.
Think I could pass as your son? maybe.
I don't know.
You
You're
know,
too,
think so.
you're too ugly, Chris.
Yeah,
I want all
yeah,
that
you grow
gear.
too much hair. Yeah, you grow too much hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You got way too much hair on your face.
Yeah. Good deal. Good deal.
So how often do you get to take your dogs out? Like far as I know, I'm assuming your bear season's in now. So how often do you get to go?
As much as I can, to be honest with you, I try to go every day, and I can go every day, 365 days a week. If I wanted to, I could take the dogs out. So there is only 3 weeks that I can't chase a bear or a mountain lion. But during those 3 weeks, I can chase a bobcat because bobcats are a year-round season.
Oh wow.
So
Why
we
not?
can,
Why?
I can.
What's those 3 weeks?
Those 3 weeks are when it is June, July. It just happened this past 3 weeks. So a month ago, the last month is the
Yeah.
only month that you can't really chase anything
Why? What's their reason for
because
that time?
the seasons just don't overlap. Lion season
Oh.
ends in June, and then
Mhm.
spring bear season starts, and then that ends, and then you have the 3 weeks of bobcat season that you can hunt
Mhm.
to keep your dogs exercised, and
Yeah.
then fall bear season comes back into play, and then lion season overlaps fall bear season by 2 weeks. So you got 2 weeks where and that was the 2 weeks where I treated the mountain lion and the bear, was when those 2 weeks overlapped, and I was able to and hunt both bear and mountain lion if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And usually during those 3 weeks is when a lot of the depredation calls comes in with Navajo Fish and Wildlife. So
Yep.
technically the dogs get worked year round. Um, and my dogs, like, they're they get right around 6 cups of dog food a day, pretty much, and they don't seem to ever put on any weight. To be honest with you, they all look
Like they're
pretty well fit,
starving
I think.
hounds. I don't,
Just above starving, yeah. They
yeah,
kind
I
of look.
get that a lot. You know, you have a dog
Athletic.
20 pounds overweight the first weekend. You get back from bear hunting, it looks like you haven't fed him for 3 months. And I feed a lot of fat, elk and bear and just whatever I have in my freezer. I got bags and bags of, I call it dog food, that when I go hunting, I'll feed them that meat and dog food while I'm running them hard.
Oh, I need to see what you guys think about this. I was listening to the Houndsman XP podcast today, and they had a guy on there, or his wife, from Dogs Are Treed, and they sell this hydration stuff for your hounds.
Oh,
But in humans, I mean, I've studied this a lot. In humans, you burn up your carbohydrates first, and then when you become fat adapted, they call it, then you can use your fat for energy. But they talked like it was opposite for dogs, that the dogs, when they ran out of fat, they needed more carbohydrates, that they burn the fat first. And that's not the, unless they're the opposite of humans, then that's,
it sounds right, because when you run a dog, they drop every ounce of fat they got. Fast.
yeah. Well,
What the-
but
what
I
the-
mean, the
what
way
the-
your metabolism works, I would have to be the complete opposite of humans, because humans will burn carbohydrates first, because carbohydrates are easy energy. They're easy to get, and then that's why these guys, these endurance athletes, are talking about becoming fat adapted, because when they become fat adapted, then they can start utilizing fat for energy. So I would think that I didn't know if dogs would be the opposite, or because they have a hydration blend that has dextro whatever and that's a carbohydrate. And you mix it in there, and I'm sure it gives them more energy and helps them. But just the thought of the just saying that they burn the fat first, and I would think it would be something that they would burn second.
Hey, Calvin,
Getting deep here. Don't blow me
do you
off.
have an email or something?
Yeah, it's my last
There's
name.
a lot of people
_
asking about lions and how to hunt on the res there. So
Yeah. It's,
What's your email?
Just my last name, Redhouse _24 at yahoo.com.
give Brett a little time. Give Brett a little time.
It's over there chicken pecking at the
How
keyboard.
in the hell do I get an underscore on this thing?
It's on the number
Underscore
right next to the number zero.
Redhouse _ how much? What else?
24 at Yahoo.
24 at yahoo.com.
Tree Dog said yes. Dogs are opposite as humans.
Oh, okay. Cool.
There's his email.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And they got any questions, they can send you an email.
Yeah, or just look me up on Facebook and send me a message on Messenger. It's a little bit easier.
Oh yeah. And you're just you're under Res Hounds there, right? REZ Hounds. Mm-hmm.
Yep. REZ Hounds.
Okay, guys. What do you think? John?
I think that was a lot of information.
Put your hat back on. You're putting a glare on the TV there.
Oh.
I thought the moon. Oh, the moon is
I thought the redheads were supposed to stick together. He just went after you, man.
Everybody's been picking on me.
Oh, you're on mute.
Who is?
Did you mute him, or is he on mute?
I didn't mute nobody.
These dogs were barking.
He's being attacked.
Calvin, we appreciate it.
I give him junk all the time, so he's got to give me something. I'm gonna have to go back down there and buy that big sombrero looking cowboy hat and start wearing it on here, I guess.
Yeah. You need one.
You're gonna need it when you go line hunting with Benzie. Being underneath all that sun all the time.
You're gonna need some of that sunscreen. That's about 150.
I talked to Benzie and told him I might camp with you guys. I don't think I'll hunt with you, but I'll camp with you, and then I'll
come on, Brett. Bring Agnes, and I want you to bring Booger, and come on.
I'd rather, we might end up hunting another. I don't know that country either. Where he hunts. I've hunted over there one time years ago with Don Milton and Tommy White, but I don't know.
Hey,
I'll see how much time I got.
You got Onyx. You got Onyx. You'll be fine.
I just want you to cook while we're in camp.
Well, I told him I'd fix some steaks and potatoes one night.
I'll be there for that.
I'm going to try to get some. I'm going to try to get a whitetail on the ground before I come out there. If it goes like my turkey season, forget that. But
you never seen a turkey?
I'm going to try to get a deer on the ground.
Chris,
when are you going to start running some kind of critter?
I started Friday morning for a few hours, and then this weekend I'll be running.
Bear season's open?
Yeah, it opened this weekend. I had to go to those hound trials, and I had those 3 pups I had?
Yeah.
I had this one kid at the hound trials really, really wanted one. Really wanted one. I just didn't want to get rid of one, and the guy asked me, and I told him like $500. I didn't want to sell it, and this kid just kept, and he looked like that kid off where the red fern grows. Just his eyes were staring at it, and just a sad kid. So all weekend I didn't do nothing. Finally, I caught him on Sunday, and I said, "How much money you got?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, how much that dog worth to you?" "I don't know. What do you want for him?" I said, "Well, tell me how much money you got." He goes, I don't got my wallet. I'll go get it. And he ran back to camp, got his wallet. He come back up to me and he said, so how much do you really want for that dog? I said, well, how much you going to give me? He goes, well, I don't know. How much you want? I said, well, how much is he worth to you? So he opens his wallet. He goes, I only got $22 because I bought all these tickets so I could win something. And I said, well, give me a ticket. So he pulls out his tickets and he gives them to me. I said, no, give me a ticket. So he pulls out a row. I said, no, give me one ticket. And he gave me one ticket and I said, there you go. Here's your dog. I gave him a puppy. And then
Good.
he was with somebody. And she come up to me. I know her. She says, hey, you know, dog having shots and everything. I said, oh, yeah, I just gave him shots. I said, and she goes, oh, yeah, his mom don't know about it yet. I said, well, that's too bad. I already gave it to him. So he come up to me and says, my mom said I could have it. Well, I said, well, that's good because I ain't taking it back. So,
I thought you were
your
going to
dog
say
now.
he looked at her and winked and said it works every time.
Is that one of the frost? Is that one of the frosty pups?
Yeah. Dinjin. He named it Little Ann.
Little man.
So, and then, so we had that raffle, and I didn't win nothing. I went up to him. I said, here's your ticket back. I want my dog.
You win.
Yep.
So, George, how about you?
YouTube wise, I got piles of videos coming up, and then I'm going hunting in the morning. So
Cool.
I can't wait to hear the story.
You know,
of the
you
truck
said your
flying through
dad.
the trees.
yeah,
The no break.
Yeah. I was whizzing around one of them roads, and I had a bear coming up right to the road, and the bear crossed the road. My uncle seen it, so I was trying to get there as fast as I could, and then I hit one of them turns and slammed the brakes and nothing. So the video did not capture near what my heart was doing. But anyway, yeah. So I slid her around, kind of drifted around a turn or two, and then threw her up in first gear and about blew the motor up. Yeah, and got her stopped right. I got her stopped right where the bear crossed. So I just jumped out and dumped the tailgate.
Yeah. You know what's funny is he said his dad works for him, and he's gone for a month. So his dad literally took a break from bear hunting and fishing to go on vacation.
Yeah.
What do
There's
you
some truth to that.
What do you do, George? I know you've told us.
So how I keep my piggy bank big enough is construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to stay on the smaller side of construction as far as a lot of remodeling, that type of stuff. But pretty much we work just enough where we can hunt.
I know. Cool. And Calvin, you got hunters lined up soon, or did you already tell us that?
Yeah, I think within the next month that they'll be down, and then one from Utah, one from right around George's country, and then a youth elk hunt, my bull elk tag, and then roll right into lion season after that.
And you say you guys aren't gonna be filming anything for Carnivore?
Well, I'm still filming. We're just not going
hounds.
to air any of the. Yeah, we're just not going to air any of it until next season because this season is all about e-call, promoting his new e-caller.
They do all that high quality cinematics type stuff.
Easton.
Hey, look at that.
Hi.
Hi. Well, I gotta.
There's the other star.
Yeah.
Him and Scruffy.
The better looking one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, there goes Scruffy.
What about you,
No, that's
Johnny?
just the wall.
When are you going to
Where's
get
your
some
video?
hound dogs, Johnny?
Yeah.
Gone. I told y'all before we went on, man. It's killing me. It's killing me. I would really like to get back in. I think I've never done it. I would really like to get in on the fight game. I think.
Oh, true. Squirrels?
Yeah, squirrel, whatever. I take them with my other buddies when we go bear hunting. We get one up and running. I dump them 5
Yeah. What? When are you scheduled to be hunting with Bency?
I'd have to look at the calendar again, but I think it's the 15th through the 22nd
Of October.
October.
of October.
You know, my grandson drew archery elk 16B in New Mexico rifle.
Yeah.
And that's like premier. It's wilderness hunt, so I got to pack him in. So,
Do you ever figure out what week that is yet?
no, I know I'm going to be in Dallas the first week in October. Then I'll probably have to spend a couple weeks after those archery hunters get in there. They probably push those elk back in the wilderness quite a ways. So I'll have to go see what I can find. I'll have to spend at least a week or so scouting, and then try to pack in a decent camp somewhere that's accessible to where the elk are. It's a big unit.
I'm starting a new job too, so I won't be on 2 Monday nights a month.
It's fine. Whenever,
I'll
just
have to
go.
work-
And that's
I'll
it.
have to work 2 Monday nights.
We'll get this set up. We'll just have a open mic. If somebody wants to join us, I can send them a link. I can put a email or something up here, because there's a lot of guys that I haven't done real good monitoring the comments tonight, but usually there's some guys that I'd like to get that Chuck Miller. He sent me some emails and stuff. He'd be cool, I think, if he could get online. And
There's one comment that was asked earlier that person said it might be, and it's for some reason it's stuck in my mind. Said it might be a dumb question, but what is a Smoky River dog? They asked what the breed was. What was that?
Somebody answer.
I don't know.
That's a breed back from you guys' neck of the woods on the East Coast, Smoky River. It comes from that side. A lot of it.
Nicholas
it's a blue tick. That's pretty much all I've been running right now.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a blue tick dog, but that's what they asked earlier. But I can't remember even who it was that asked what it was. So.
What about you, Brett? What you got coming out? Anything, or just doing the lives?
I got a doctor's
You're
appointment.
still grounded. You're still grounded.
I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow afternoon, then I got a procedure on Friday. So hopefully they'll tell me.
It's a tummy tuck, guys. It's a tummy tuck.
I'm getting gastro bypass surgery. I wish that's all it was. But
thanks for coming on, Calvin.
Yeah, that was great. I was right, Chris. You want to tell me? You want to apologize to me now?
Brett's right. I'm wrong. Brett's pretty. I'm ugly. He's smart. I'm stupid.
Man, you got a heck of an education tonight, didn't you? Learned all those things.
Oh, man. Yeah. Hey, is there any areas over there that the outsiders can't hunt?
No, it's all.
He's still trying to figure out a way to be right.
Come on, Calvin. I can only send you $50 right now if you say yes. I'll send you a clip.
No, there's really not. I mean, the only thing is that the half-a-mile rule from the house. That's about it.
You're wrong, Chris. There you go. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
My buddy.
Brett's one of those that likes to rub it in your nose, Chris.
I know. I'm going to hear about it. After I mentioned him in my video, put a picture of him, told everybody how great he is.
You didn't say any. You just said this guy.
Oh, see, that's how I talk.
That means I'm great?
That's how I say you're great. Yeah.
No, but hopefully this procedure goes right. I'll be in Dallas the beginning of October, and then September we're really not supposed to be in the woods with our hounds, because when those archery deer hunters or elk hunters are in, they don't let us get in there. So I go out in the desert and exercise my dogs and everything, but that's probably when I'm gonna if everything's good, I'm gonna try to make one of those long pack trips. Go somewhere.
Yeah.
Long ways.
There's a lot of deer hunters here too that don't like hounds in the woods. They
Whoop.
fuss and try to
Must
say
have hurt
that,
Chris's feelings.
yeah, he jumped off there. But they try to say that it hurts the deer. The deer won't be in the area, and heck, I've seen seen hounds run through the area, a bear shot from a tree and be dragging it out, and there'd be a big buck standing there on the way out.
Yeah.
There'd be some dogs standing
Yeah.
there looking at you. They don't pay that much attention to it.
I was going to show you guys this real quick while we're here. Here comes Chris. He couldn't stand it, could he? I hear him. I can't find him. This is what's going on in New Mexico. Chris, I can't get to you. This is from, I'm subscribed to this newsletter, Center for Biological Diversity, but they're trying to take our hounds away from us. And you can see right down here, hunting bears and cougars is harmful because neither animal evolved as prey. Bears evolved to reproduce slowly. So there's a bunch of these bunny huggers that are we're all supposed to go to the next Game and Fish meeting. Mike Root called me and he said this is serious. He said they've got a lot of the game commission supposedly on their side. So we got to write emails and I'll try to get the right email address to put up so people can post.
Well, what all hunters don't realize is that the hound hunter is just the lowest hanging fruit on the tree. He's the easiest one to pick because that's the easiest one to make people sympathize with what they're hunting. And when the hound hunter's gone, the next person they're gonna go for is like the steel bear hunter and the steel cougar hunter.
Well, they want us all out of the woods.
Yeah, they want us all out of the woods. Like we said earlier, you're supposed to get it from a can and out of styrofoam and saline wrap at the grocery store, where no animals were harmed. Of course,
it's crazy.
If that nut Bill Gates gets his way, we'd be eating lab-grown meat. Don't get me started on that.
I can't get Chris back on.
Well, it sounds like that if you can get a science-based like biologist or something, he should be able to beat all that. Them saying that a bear, is a slow producing, that's I hear in Virginia that's not the case. We've got some bear that's had up to 5 cubs.
Did you see that picture yesterday? It was on social media, George.
I'm not sure. Was
The
it
one eating the sheep?
It was it was here in our area, real close. I think one of my buddies sent it to me. I'll put it on our group later when we get off. But it was a mama with 5 cubs walking through the field.
Yes, I did see that one. I seen that.
I think that's over here. I'm trying to remember. I think it's near Grundy or somewhere. I'm trying to remember.
I believe it's at Floyd County or something.
Well,
Yeah, maybe it was Floyd County. It's close by here.
I'm screwing up for all of us here now. Sorry. I don't have my little window says I can put somebody in the... all I can do is put everybody one at a time here. Up there. There. Well, I'll be this stupid program. Anyway, call it a night, guys. Calvin, thanks for coming. Anytime. You got time? Get on.
Anytime.
Send you a link. Jump on and it's laid back. As you see, it's just laid back, easy going, just conversation. So.
I like it. It's
yeah.
Kind of stuff I want to do.
Yeah. Just come in. I'm going to get a hold of you this week, and we'll get together. I want to talk to you about maybe going over there and hunting a lion. So
Sounds like a deal. Sounds like a plan.
sounds good, guys. Sorry I screwed this up, but
Oh, no.
I'm tired. I don't feel like fixing it.
All right, gentlemen.
All right.
You have a nice day.
Yep.
See
You
y'all.
too. Good
See
night,
y'all
guys.
later.
Great week.
Good night.